Hello and finally welcome back to our third day here of PMCO for the European region Spring Split 2020. My name is Maxman and once again going to be joined by my friend and yours, Imperium, for an epic set of PUBG Mobile games coming your way once again. Imperium, what's poppin', my dude?
Oh baby, yeah, we've got a fantastic set of games today. We are going to be seeing Group A and Group C clash together. So these two kind of groups for the first time. And also, because we've had every single team having 4 games already, we can have a bit of an overview of what teams are looking very strong, what teams really need to step things up. Of course, like, you got to talk about the fact that up on the top of the mountain right now is decided next. Okay, they're not playing today, being in Group B, but on top with 82 points, you gotta recognize them.
Next just had one of the best performances I have ever seen in PUBG Mobile. Like, they were a team that in the scrims on Scared, we said it, they were not like, they were in like the top 50%. They were not just out there getting all the chicken dinners and everything. Every once in a while, sure, but dominating this hard and almost hitting a 100-point bomb in one single day is almost unseen. So next, great performance from them. I think we said it multiple times. Unfortunately, they will not be playing today. They'll be coming back tomorrow to try and potentially climb up a little bit high, well, a little bit higher. They're already at the tippity top at the mountain, but you know, at the end of the day, you're still only halfway up. So next, still gonna go some way to try and have really just a huge impact over the European scene. But now, let's focus maybe on the teams that are already in our Group A and Group B, Imperium. Some teams are in great spot. Magic, I'm really happy. They started their day yesterday not on the best foot, but they ended it on their 2 last games specifically, absolutely dominantly, also securing a chicken dinner on good old Miramar.
Yeah, of course. Realistically, it is the best time for the teams in Group C to get strong results and to really garner as many points as possible, because right now Group A are probably nothing against the teams, but they are probably the weakest group, because Terra Esports, who are in Group A, they're in 6th place. The next team from Group A is REXPECT and they're in 10th, whereas every other team in the top 10 is from Group B, D, or C. So it is definitely prime time for Magic and Red Reserve to get those strong results. But I've got to talk about the teams that are down in the bottom half, Max, the likes of Accelerate, the likes of even Team Legend. Like, Accelerate are in 30th place and they're only on 9 points in total. Really rough start to the group stage for them. I was talking to Reki last night and he said to me that he let his emotions get the better of the communication wasn't there, the togetherness wasn't there, and he recognized that he knows they can do better. And I said to him, look, relax, forget about what happened yesterday, go into today's games just with a fresh mindset, knowing what you guys can do, and go from there.
Unfortunately, in gaming, like, your mentality is always a really big thing. If it gets to you, it can get really hard to hold your ground on a game of PUBG, especially a game as stressful as PUBG, right? You've got to be ready at any point of the game, from the early to the late game. So, of course, yesterday also could have just been a bad day. It happens to the best of teams. Like, for example, Elevate. They are not going good at all. They're in 19th position right now, and next day, they're not playing today, they will be playing tomorrow with Group D, but they need to really step up. So, Accelerate, you know, they're a team that have been showing up consistently throughout the scrims. Reki, Sakoru, they are 2 outstanding players that I'm sure they'll be able to do something, work out today. And also Imperium, maybe they're going to have a little bit of a better opportunity, because today will be the first day where we're actually going to be having some Vikendi coming our way. My favorite map, and also Imperium's favorite map. And maybe that's going to be the saving factor for some of these squads that are struggling on yesterday's broadcast.
Yeah, I would be looking at teams like Terra Esports and Red Reserve for a strong Vikendi result. I know Red Reserve have gotten some really great games in Vikendi in the scrims, so have Terra Esports, although, you know, their rotations at times have been a little bit weak. But again, this is based on scrims. I do know that when they get a good result in Vikendi, it is absolutely glorious. So I expect those teams to really get a strong result. But look, you know, like I said, this is a fresh set of 4 games for these two groups. I do have to say it's also probably a slight bit of an advantage for the teams that had good results yesterday from Group C, because they're riding on a bit of a momentum, right? They have had 4 games last night. They're going into 4 games tonight. Whereas the teams from Group A, they had that break. And if you don't know how to handle that kind of day's break, looking at the games, that can affect your mentality and that can affect your performance going into these 4 games tonight.
Yeah, 8 games in a row can be pretty harsh. And also, they do train in between games. They play during the day. They got work and all that stuff. So, can be a little bit much on them, but hopefully it will be A-okay. Also, as we're going to be having then, for the very first time, Group A versus Group C, I'm going to want to actually talk about one little rivalry between 2 of these teams. You might know which one I'm going to be talking about here, Imperium. It's going to be in the good old compound of Primorsk, and that's going to be Team Legend and REXPECT. In scrims, they played a lot against each other, and it's actually been pretty even Stevens, but now during PMCO games, this is going to be even more serious. Which one will it be? Team Legend or REXPECT? Or maybe one team is going to play a lot more respectful and just not even try to drop in Primorsk.
You could say one team could play more respectful. But,
get out of here, get out of here.
In the past, Team Legend have actually won out against REXPECT and Primorsk from experience, so I would definitely be a little bit fearful of that. We have seen teams, most notably UDR Killers, who've really made great decisions when they've landed in the same compound as somebody else in the early part of the game, where they have disengaged fairly early, and that has gotten them a much better result down the line. So I'm hoping that will be the same from both of these 2 teams, because especially Team Legend, as they do need those strong results, they need to play maybe a little bit safer. Yeah, they've got 17 placement points, but they've only got 3 kill points. And, you know, we were talking about it before the broadcast. Team Legend, when they frag out, they really can frag out.
They really are so good and they start playing aggressive, but unfortunately, yesterday's broadcast, they always had like 1 member standing up at the very end. They didn't, unfortunately, keep on spawning in with only 3 members. So that is also maybe a factor as to why they were playing very passive yesterday and trying to aim mainly for the late game. They're mainly aiming for position. I think most of their positioning points, most of their points are positioning points. So hopefully today they're going to be spawning in with 4 members, and that'll be great. And also, it just came to my mind, Imperium. I said Ryan Primorsk is going to be REXPECT and Team Legend, but we have Vietnamese are also here, and they also like dropping for Primorsk. So
true.
I'm actually going to keep an eye out for Primorsk, see if something might break out over there, but it will be pretty interesting.
It is going to be pretty interesting. Look, for me, I'm taking a bit more of a relaxed approach to this, because every single team has had 4 games. So for me, like, the first 2 days of excitement of kind of, oh, this is the start of the PMCO, they're kind of out of the way. Now it's a matter of building upon what has already happened, allowing the teams to really, like, they've warmed up, good or bad results aside, they've warmed up. Let's see what they can really pull out. Let's see how they can really perform. Outside the fact that they're going up against different groups, at the end of the day, you still had 4 games under your belt. It is still up to you to respond how you can. So if you are Red Reserve, we know that they're not the happiest with their performances yesterday, outside of getting a chicken dinner in the end. They know that they can do better. So it's how are they going to respond to that? What are they going to do? It's the same with Terra Esports. We're expecting all the players and the teams down the line. So this is where it's going to be really interesting. Plus the fact that you do take into account Vikendi is being played.
We were just talking about Red Reserve a little bit. I had a chance to talk with Sonic right before this broadcast. We'll talk about that as we do dive into the first game that will be on Erangel, and talking about Erangel and what map we're going to be playing. Let's go real quick over the schedule if you guys do not know what is going to be coming your way. Of course, it's going to be starting off with Erangel. 50% of your games are Erangel, so that's the map you want to control and be the best on at all costs. Then followed up with Vikendi, so no Sanhok today or tomorrow. So, you know, Sanhok is pretty fun to watch sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's very aggressive and not everyone likes it. So having some Vikendi, then followed up with Miramar, that's going to be really fun, a very nice and open map. Can't wait to jump on that chill Vikendi map. And then, of course, closing it up with Erangel is going to be really fun. But we are now slowly loading into the lobby, Imperium, and our very first game is about to show its face. But one team I'm really looking out for is actually going to be also Magic. Magic are doing really good in their overall standings. They're top dog of their group, top dog of the overall standings too. They're doing absolutely awesome. But they're a team that doesn't frag out that much, and they only purely got positioning points. So right now, it's not a big threat to them because you still got, like, 31 teams, and it's okay for them to do so. But as they go through potentially semi-finals and the regional finals, only aiming for positioning points is not going to be enough. So maybe they want to try and, you know, shift the gears a little bit early, try and play a little bit more aggressive to get those kill points just to get comfortable as they shift towards semi-finals and regional finals.
I don't want to kind of not go against you, but they're the second highest kill point team. They've got 29 kill points and 38 placement points. They're behind Cream Esports, who've gotten 34 kill points, at least based on my stats. So,
who was I mixing them up with, though?
With you. What?
Who was I mixing them up with, then? I was mixing it up with someone.
I don't know, but
I don't know.
Magic
you know
have got...
Flush that one away.
It's cool. Like, Magic have got 29 kill points. They've got 38 placement points. They're looking pretty balanced. You know, and then behind them, you got Red Reserve. I think you might have been talking about Terra Esports.
I was just looking on the standing as Terra, yeah.
They've only got 17 kill points, and they've got 37 placement points.
Why did I say Magic? I don't know. There you go. I mean, still works. Replace just all that. We'll re-edit the VOD, and we'll add a Terra when I say Magic. There you have it. That's fine. But slowly loading up into this game. We'll have to see where the plane does take us. Really going to keep a close eye onto Primorsk. Mainly, the eastern side shouldn't be too occupied, as we do not have Elevate to love to go for that area of Milta, so hopefully it should be pretty passive over there. Maybe a good entry point for some of these teams that like to go for Primorsk. I would love to see that come through. But are you expecting maybe any surprises on this first game in Pyramid? A few teams that maybe are going to try and step up to the stake on this, on this Erangel game.
I do think it's going to be a little bit easier for Red Reserve, because you mentioned Elevate, but you also got to take into account that, like, Cream Esports, they would also like to land around farm area and kind of split drop. So Red Reserve, I feel, give or take, they're going to have a little bit more space on their side to really go where they want to. And also, depending on the circle shift, they will have maybe a little bit less pressure to have to avoid certain teams or avoid certain plays. And I believe that you mentioned something about Jip, where she's the kind of player who's studying a lot about the other teams that are competing and watching the streams and really being aware of where teams are and where they like to drop, which means she can feed that communication to the rest of her team.
I mean, she has been literally on every stream I've seen so far. When I was watching the replays, I was always seeing her comments in the chat. So she definitely knows. She doesn't even do VOD reviews. She does stream reviews. So that's how active she is in the community. So anyways, our first game is coming up. Imperium. Where shall we go? Going to be a pretty central playing path, a little bit focused down south. But actually, we are Vietnamese. They're one of the teams I was thinking would go to Primorsk, but they're going to go for Milta. And REXPECT will indeed be going for the area of Primorsk. But where are Team Legend? I can't see them right now. Look, shift on the west.
Not gonna lie, I was kind of wondering what the situation was with the game. I didn't realize we were loaded in. The feed had actually jammed
same for
on
me,
my side. That's why, that's why I didn't realize. But yeah, so you know, PedjaDBoys landing where they do need to land. They're gonna look to loot up their team that are currently lying 31st in the overall standings, only 7 points, and none of them have been from kills. Really a team that needs to step up their game, get those kill points, but also add up with the placement points and climb the standings up to get into the top 24, because that's what it is, right, Max? The top 24 teams are going to go through to the semi-finals. That's where it's all going to come down to. So that's why I'm definitely more focusing on the bottom half of the tables rather than the top half at this point of the tournament.
Because if you're on the bottom 8, you go sleepy night-night right after the group stage. So hopefully that won't go too bad. But yeah, PedjaDBoys, they definitely have to show up to the party. I'm surprised that with Mamul on their side, I haven't been able to turn that into too much of a good scenario. But now Terra, the two teams I mixed up during the intro, they're going to be fighting in Southern George Pole. That's going to be, of course, Terra and Magic. Terra, they have a really good history fighting in this area. Magic, maybe not the most comfortable team fighting in Southern George Pole, because Terra, they are been taking fight after fight against AK-47. They're really good against that team in this area, but now they're just going to change contender. It's going to be Magic this time around, but I don't know how good they can play on that high ground position, especially Broccoli and Spectra.
Yeah, and look, realistically, you know, Magic, like I said, they're riding high in a solid momentum of 4 games yesterday, getting a chicken dinner, and they do look a little bit more dangerous than Terra. You mentioned it, like, they're on 29 points, Terra only on 17 when you're putting, you know, kills against kills, Magic definitely overall more impressive. So I do wonder if that will transfer in this engagement between the two teams. I like the fact that none of them are exactly going for each other, just playing it safe, looting up, maybe looking to disengage away.
On over to the red team. Also, quick little piece of information for people at home. The red team and red reserve are not the same team, so let's not mix them up. As also, like red reserve, they were called red before, but they had to change tag because there was another red team lobby. So now it's RR, which I think is actually, I don't know why I find it cooler. I don't know, is it just me, Imperium?
Yeah, no, I find it cooler as well.
I find it cooler, RR.
As you do see, the team of Warlords starting to pop off a couple of shots in the direction of CIA, but CIA disengaging away. 3 players in that car for now as Dale just trying to spot out. But yeah, you know, it's funny because I was talking to Kim today, the CEO of Red Reserve, and he's like, oh, you know, should we change the team tag, you know, before the regional finals or before the finals? And I was like, no, leave it the way it is. Firstly, it doesn't really matter what the team tag is, but if you're going to think about it, like, RR is a fantastic team tag.
I personally like it, as I'm seeing, unfortunately, something that I do not like on my screen. That's a 4-man rotation from CIA. It's still phase 1. The blue zone has just barely started closing up, so I will allow it, as long as they don't do it consistently throughout the game. As a Mamula from PedjaDBoy, they're going to be moving. They got the car split that I personally like and enjoy, as they're going to make it towards farm, trying to cross. Now, they're rotating as fast as they possibly can. It's still a very open area. There's not too much water involved in this phase 1 circle, so normally finding a compound, especially in the area of around Gatka, should not be too much of an issue.
No, shouldn't be indeed. I like the fact that PedjaDBoy is there constantly moving, not afraid to go into different areas, loot up, be confident where they are rotating away, and hopefully that'll pay off coming into the late game. I might, you know, to echo me being a bit more relaxed, I am expecting an overall more passive set of games for these teams, for these players. But Red Reserve getting possibly caught out, getting knocked down. Will he be able to be revived by his teammate Agon, the medic? For now, going to throw the smoke, and all the while, the other members of Red Reserve having to rotate away into the houses. JW, very low in health.
They're going to be able to push himself back. At least this 2-2 split is somewhat working out for them, because if it was a full car split, they could have died all out in the open. Yakuza, though, very split. I'm not too much of a fan of how they are potentially going to play this one, but still, they're taking it 3v2 on 2 members of Red Reserve. Aegon potentially going to get taken out as a flank from Bimby is coming out, but oh, Aegon just flicks it straight back in his face, and looking for another member was the AK. That might be a double. He gets pruned down, he doesn't get it. Both members reloaded, just looking at each other. What are you doing, mate? And there you go. That's going to be Aegon absolutely popping off in his early game stage in the open. Now, this should be a nice, easy res on top of Ked, which you definitely want for your later game stage.
Aegon, what the hell just happened? The man, the myth, the legend. You know how that happened? You know why that happened? I 1v1'd Aegon earlier on, and I gave him a buff. I let him win. I wanted to boost his confidence. He beat me. He even panned me like 5 times, but I let him do it because I was like, look, you know, I want to make him feel confident coming into these games. And it's shown a great 3-man knock, going to ultimately result in a 3-man kill for Red Reserve.
I can feel in your voice, Imperium. You're a little bit salty, aren't you? still a little bit of like resentment in that voice. Okay, chips. That was a French thing. I didn't know that, but okay. The red team, they're going to be going for their very own compound. This is a nice area to defend. Can be a little bit harder if the teams rotate through the area of Pachinki, but hopefully that won't happen. And they're pretty safe. I don't know why a team would decide to breach during phase 1. Is some phase 1 breaches. We saw actually a few on the 2 first days, yesterday and on, when was it? Tuesday? Yep. So teams actually breached on phase 1, which you want to avoid at all costs. And if you know a team is located there, don't go for it. That is why you send out scouts a little bit closer to compounds to check it out. If you know it's open, rotate in, take it for yourself.
Even if you just send it to kind of touch upon the scout thing, even if you just get them to drive around and see if any of the doors are open, that will give you an indication that somebody's there. You know, a higher indication at least. So yeah, definitely having that scout, as much as I'm not a huge fan, but just go a little bit further than the rest of your team, that can result in just getting more intel. And like I said, knowledge is power in PUBG Mobile. But top killers rotating on the east side of the map for now. There's still a full squad Two members in that. UAS just going to look to get onto the high ground above farm.
Top Killers, a team that are currently in 17th position, not quite above the 50%. Hopefully they can make it through, but it's still in the Goldilocks zone to be able to, move on forward to the semi-finals as they stay consistent. That is what they now have to try and achieve.
Yep.
Ked, will Andy be back on his feet? No, I'm really happy about that. I can see the weird players just like yesterday when he just goes in the middle of field, goes for a flush kill, and you're like, what the hell did you just do? He pulled off a Ked. That's what we call it now. If you go for a weird play or very aggressive play, we call it go for a Ked. Note it down.
Ked doing Ked things, and then we have Jip doing Jip things, snaking about and surviving until the final moments of a game. I want to try and give a name to what Agon did, but it kind of nearly is a Ked thing. So Agon pulled out a Ked. All the while we do have the red team. Like something simple like what they've done. They've put their vehicle inside the house, just to protect it. And I really like that. It's forward thinking. It's a simple thing, but it can make a huge difference, because if that vehicle was to get blown up or the tires was to get popped off from a distance, that would really risk their disengagement potential.
Small things in life that make you happy, and there's small things in PUBG Mobile that make you better, just like protecting your cars. Here it is, though. REXPECT, they finally shifted away from their good old fancy compound of Primorse, trying to find a little bit of a fancier position in a nice center circle. PedjaDBoy, they're the team that we were talking about earlier, Ryan Pure, and we want a good performance. Yeah. The real deal in front of them, the real deal that so far, has stood out to me. They were one of the teams that I was expecting to have a really big sharp session, especially known from them that I was talking to Buja. They have not been taking the scrims very seriously. They've been playing a little bit YOLO mode, as you would like to say. So I'm really expecting a lot more seriousness coming out from this team in these PMCO games, but yesterday didn't quite work out for them.
And you know what? There's nothing wrong with taking scrims, not seriously. Hell, I would always advise not to take them seriously. But once you're still putting in the work to prepare for the competitive setting, that's where it's going to count. They are currently lying in 22nd, just about in the top 24, but they only have 22 points, so it's not the strongest start for them. We know that they can do a lot better. They are in Pachinki. They're going to stay close to each other and then look to rotate away.
Warlords being getting counted was Yakuza in their compound of Yasnai Poliana this time. So as always, they like to shift really early to avoid direct confrontation. They don't want to cancel out each other. So always nice to see them. They got a really nice position. I know that Elevate is a team that actually really likes playing on this mountaintop. Yeah. If they have the potential to do so. That does show the potential of that positioning. Also, it gives you not only really good aggression on some teams and compounds, but also just great map awareness, knowing where teams are rotating from. And compared to this circle shift, it's actually really valuable to set up your phase 3 shift.
Oh my god, Sod from We Are Vietnamese getting a bolt action knockdown onto a member of Warlords. I was going to say Warlords were doing a great job of, let's say, pushing We Are Vietnamese back and taking that vision away. But with that knockdown, that's instantly given We Are Vietnamese a lot more confidence to peek the windows, to peek the areas and get the information that they need to on where Warlords are.
Spectra, that was not a boat. That was indeed a Dacia, so that will not be floating, mate. But I saw that We Are Vietnamese were jumping out of their buildings, so I hope they're not going to push on top of Team Warlords. That would be very weird if they decided to go for that. But though around the area of Prince, it will. Boys, yeah, just cruising through. They don't have a 4-man car rotation anymore. They fixed that, so I'm happy.
Yeah, no, just want to say I'm definitely find it interesting that the red team didn't in any way engage on the members of the CIA. I don't disagree with that. I just definitely find it a bit interesting. Of course, CIA didn't go there, so it's fine for now. But the real deal, Daddy, could get caught out by Jaguar. The shot's getting fired out. The spray, not quite enough. Daddy does back off for now.
I'm surprised again, so close to Pachinki, so split. Like, I understand if you want to go for a 2-2 split, because right now they don't have a 2-2 split, so it might get a little bit tricky to get that one-man res. Even though they got the car rotation coming on through, the res should be happening. But you want to try and aggress a big compound such as Pachinki as a 2-man squad and actually stick properly together. But the real deal, being very respectful, and they're going to push back. But a breach is coming out from Accelerate and Pyramid. We want them to show up, and they're going to go right into the hands of REXPECT.
Oh my god, we're wasting going through for REXPECT. Two teams that do need super strong results, but Kabbalah, the IGL, getting knocked down. Grenade being thrown at by Wason. That's going to be another knockdown. Good stuff by them. Goes in for the pre-fire and the kill. And now the engagement is coming through on a 2. Reki gets killed.
Did they see him behind? Does a member of Accelerate going to be trying to run away? Here it is. Sakura coming in from the back. Can he hit it? Oh, yes, he can. He's going to get breached from the backside with a DP. Does he have time to flush it? Yes, he does. That's at least 1 point for them. But REXPECT ultimately will be the team to overtake this compound and call it home for the next few phases. Nicely done. The breach was definitely not working out for Accelerate. And maybe a little bit of a lack of communication right there. But at least they still have a member up, and that's going to be X0.
Just really, I suppose, not really preparing too well for an engagement. But now we look at this circle and where it is going through. It's not too crazy, but there is a lot of teams on the west and the east. It's Magic down south. They have the prime spot on their own. They can watch the teams rotating through. Really good stuff from them. It is about all the teams on the west and the east that are going to have to rotate away.
I don't know what it is with these like phase 3, phase 4 circle shift. They're always in the same vicinity towards Fairy Piers, so we might have the exact same one. Every time the first game is the same first few circles. So I want to see some East Erangel action eventually. Come on, guys. Got to give me some first game number 1 East Erangel action. But CIA, as I said, being so split is definitely not going too much in their advantage. Going to be having a few minutes. Okay. Space also in the vicinity. They lost Psycho. Johnny was knocked away, but will get put back on his feet. But losing Psycho, he's such a good aggressive player, but losing him early, unfortunately, he's not going to have any impact now anymore. So kind of sad to see him go so early.
Yeah, G-Space in 12th place, 36 points, an average of 9 points per game. With Team Red rotating down south. Like I said, the teams would have to go down south, but is it going to be too late? It was only one member of their side knocked down. Master was also knocked down, so the revive will come through. All the while, does that give time for the rest of Team Red to engage onto Magic?
I mean, I have to say, the red team, if you want to breach a compound, just go straight for the compound. Don't turn around. You're giving an opportunity for them to get initial knockdowns, which did happen there, unfortunately, for them. Now it's going to be, once again, a battle of nades. Magic and Sade make it work out. Sent me a few hearts before the broadcast. Was pretty sweet, pretty nice, but that nade will not connect. You don't get enough luck there.
Master getting a knockdown, getting the kill onto Buttery, leaving Team Red down to just 2 players. Rudy on the side, trying to hear and feel for the shots that are around. We see Skirp proning down by the warehouse. Can his senses come through? Or is his spidey senses tingling all the while? Red Reserve catching out. We are Vietnamese on the rotation. Good start by them. Sonic, they're looking pretty good. Pushing We Are Vietnamese back.
Red Reserve, I talked to Sonic earlier, and he said that they want to be so much more reactive on the circle shift. They want to try and aim for the center circle at every point in time, which they are doing. Even though it's fields, it's pretty tricky, but there are no high ground positions in the next circle shift for the time being. I do believe we'll have to see a little bit of a zoom out of the map if we can. But doing that so early on is great, because that means you're safe for the entirety of the next few circle shifts. And playing so mid in fields circle shift is actually really smart to make it so much easier on you later on down the line.
Team Red. Magic still holding out against each other. All the while, all they're allowing to do is allowing the teams around them to get closer so third parties could come through, as Junior getting a kill onto a member of Magic. Master holding out, has half health. Grenade gonna pop through. That's gonna be a Kobe. Rudy knocked down. Junior and half health. The pre-fire coming out from Syed. That's gonna leave Junior solo health. Go in for the push. Go in for the rush. That's gonna be another Kobe. That's gonna push Junior away. Well, what's the point if we're not gonna follow up on the engage? Do not allow him to heal up.
Red team are in such a bad position because another team is actually in the fields right behind them and could spray them down. But here it is, Magic. They're coming in and it's cleaning time, baby. The red team will be taken out in 14th position. See you later, Alligator. Now it's going to be Salazar from CIA. Oh my God, disrespect on PedjaDBoys. And we said that they were a team we wanted to see them step it up on their games today. But game number 1 seemed like that one will not be their lucky number.
No, CIA consistently impressing me time and time and again. So far, they're overall in the standings. They are 18th place with 26 points. And with this good result, it could put them higher and higher. Still 3 players up. Jaguar on a rotation got taken down by Red Reserve. And just to touch upon Red Reserve, actually, no. You know what? I'll mention later on, because this engagement between Team Legends and The Real Deal, 2 teams that need strong results. Of course, the high ground going in the favor of The Real Deal, but Team Legends are in the compound.
Realizing once again, Team Legend only spawned in with 3 members. Where's Legend? LGND, I don't see him anywhere, but here it is, The Real Deal. They're gonna have to breach. They popped off so many smokes, they can easily make it to the vicinity of that compound. It just really depends on how Team Legend can defend it. I like where Joker's currently located, has a really good line of sight, a really widespread angle on these squads. They're trying to smoke it up once again. A little bit of an issue. There are indeed smokes in front of him, just so you guys know, it's just a little bit of a spectator issue that we have. But that's a great nade pin. As a little bit low, he's got M249 Imperium. That is a great weapon for breaching compounds.
But here's the thing, Team Legend, they're all in one area. The Real Deal have them pinched. Nobody from Team Legend have been able to really disengage. But now The Real Deal, 1 member from Team Legend knocked down. That's Joker leaving Lisman. And the final member, Predator, up for Team Legend as the Real Deal look to swarm them. Of course, countered by Hackshot having to get revived. Up Buju now going to look to heal up. Daddy pushing forward. Of course, we've seen these players, the new Metamax is going into first-person perspective when you're engaging onto opponent. It gives you a better line of sight on that engagement. And look at Caster from REXPECT in the background.
Damn, well, I guess Joker's a better love story was getting knocked away than Twilight. That's going to be a second knock in this engage. The Real Deal really trying to commit fully. Lizman is going to be the next casualty, but REXPECT, they're going for the third party here. And talking about parties is going to be popping off left, right, and center, but I'm not too sure they want to push it aggressively just yet. They want to let it just end up between The Real Deal and Team Legend. Joker back, Lizman back pretty soon also. REXPECT being very, respectful. I'll take your joke off earlier.
Then Red Reserve connecting onto Warlords. We have 12 teams left, 36 players left standing. Warlords are being punished in the background as REXPECT trying to connect onto Team Legend. The third party coming through on the north side of this circle. And that's what happens when you don't really push aggressively quicker. It allows teams to get around you. I mentioned it between Team Red and Magic earlier on. Top Killers got pretty close by, but they did avoid it as a Real Deal looking now for REXPECT.
We also did see Accelerate unfortunately get eliminated in 12th position. I believe it was them. With enemies on, nading himself. What's that? Kirsch is going to nade down Mike. They'll make it through. Yeah, having to go downhill here. Their circle is definitely not in their favor, and so many teams could have an angle on them. They are definitely in a pretty sticky and tricky situation. Real Deal is trying to pick other fights, especially versus team number 13. That's going to be Top Killers here on the edge of the circle. Phase 5 about to close up, and you know that with so many teams still up in such a late phase circle shift in the field, you know it's just about to go downhill from here on out in just a few minutes.
And insane, I do believe Magic did take down Red Reserve. Buju, what the hell? Never mind REXPECT and Team Legend. Let's just spray against We Are Vietnamese.
Yeah, spray control was absolutely insane. Now they're trying to pop the last few smokes. Unfortunately, Doyle is going to be dying out to the blue. And here it is. I was talking about it. Unfortunately, going downhill is never a good thing. So many teams have an angle. That's going to be We Are Vietnamese taking the last few shots down out to top 8 teams. And The Real Deal just spraying it down as much as they can. But I'm jealous of that spray control in Pyramid. Please give me it. The Real Deal. Teach me. Teach me the way.
Teach me, senpai.
Teach me, senpai. I'm the weeb here, Imperium. What's that? Okay.
And now the circle does kind of center up, Max, which means, if I'm not mistaken, it's only Magic that are inside or very close to the circle. We don't have an overview, but look at the amount of teams that are outside of The Real Deal. The Real Deal, REXPECT, Team Legend, Top Killers trying to make for a push, but Sans from Warlords punishes them. Of course, Top Killers still have a couple of players up. 8 teams left, 26 players. REXPECT going for the engagement. Daddy looking for him. The spray comes out. Nice control by him, but it's not enough to get a knockdown.
I was going to say that's pretty risky, but you know what? You can't argue with results. They lose nothing almost in that engagement. Just having, of course, not B2 just a little bit lower. Esports going to get knitted up by Masterman Magic and their nades today. What is going on? And now they're going to aim a little bit more centrally, trying to get themselves in circle. But look at that great gatekeeping set up by We Are Vietnamese. They shifted almost instantaneously to this circle, and they are really reactive to the shift. So, of course, that is going to allow them to get themselves a nice chill position to just deny other teams from making it in.
Never mind snakes on a plane. We've got snakes in a field, in this open field ending in the first game of the day in Erangel. Still 8 teams, 24 players up this time. Terror trying to make their way into the circle, but they got Magic in front of them. Magic are basically keeping them away as they prone their way through. Master might have an idea where Bear is. All the while you have Sayed and Murad looking for Warlords on the east side of this circle.
You know what, the real deal, actually, I think have one of the better positions. They're not quite in circle yet, they're almost there, but actually no teams are around them at this point. And all the other teams are going to fight each other on the vicinity of this phase 6, and they might just snake it through properly after this steal, unfortunately for them, Team Legend behind them. So when they decide to pull on the engage, they might get in a little bit of a precarious situation, but as of right now, they are looking pretty good. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, no, you've really got a good point, and they're going to be able to actually kind of camp the other team up on the north side as well. So it's definitely looking good for the real deal, but you can't also forget about top killers as well. And we are Vietnamese, who made a nicer play into the circle on the west side.
Yeah, Say gets not flushed out, actually. Not even knocked, just flushed out entirely out of the lobby. Now Team Legend down to their last member. That's going to be Joker. Hopefully doesn't get sprayed down. Takes it away from that, but definitely not looking good for them. Hopefully they can make it through. But look at that crate Imperium. That might actually help out a few of these teams to hold a better position.
Yeah, it can be something teams can play for, but right now they've got to try and take the teams and the players out around them. There's a frenzy of players in small areas where you don't really know what's going on. You're just looking for a body to take down and hoping for the best along the way. As Hackshot frowns down, I think he was actually going for his teammate, might have been by mistake, but Magic from a Master, he is one of 2 players left for Magic along with Murad. Might look to get into the use. That's a bold, risky move to try and make his way into circle, but if it does work out, yes, he's going for a loot drop. Okay, great play, very smart, but Master is going to get knocked down by Yazzie.
But he set up a really good defensive position for Murad, which is going to slowly try and snake his way there, and it might just buy them enough time to get extra positioning points and maybe steal a few frags away. We'll have to see how that works out. But exactly, Murad is just straight up walking over there. The smokes were indeed popped off. But I really like it. Master, that sacrifice play was absolutely awesome. And it might not even end up being a sacrifice play because they got a perfect position to pull off a res.
Yeah, exactly. Really true indeed. Now, smoke is going to go out. That will actually alert that there is another member of Magic there. So that could actually go against them. I would have recommended not throwing out a smoke in that situation because all it takes is a grenade in this vicinity of that smoke, and you could see Magic being taken out, but they will be able to survive. They will look to separate a little bit. No, see, that's what I was talking about. Magic gets knocked down again. If you're out in the open like that, and you know that you've got to use on a loot crate, don't throw it in smoke.
Murad, headshot on that bloom spray. That's going to put GV out of commission entirely. Flush it out, of course. It is going to get pretty tricky. You never know. Better safe than sorry and not get it stolen away. Top killers will indeed not see the light of day on this game, and they will be taken out in 5th position. Down to top 4 teams, Imperium. And at this point in time, it's really almost... We don't know which team is going to potentially take it, even though the man advantage is definitely in favor of the real deal. We're still 4 members. Are they going to get res back up? I'm surprised that was actually allowed by a few of these squads.
But Max, you talked about the real deal. They're in the top 4, 22nd place overall. Now is their chance to get as many points. Could they get more points in one game as they did in 4 games yesterday? They're definitely putting it as close together as they can. They've got 3 players left. We're down to 3 teams as Daddy takes down Magic. Now it's 2 Phantom against the real deal. 4v1. Can the clutch come out from Phantom? Can he pull off the bold move? Can he pull off a KED?
Now they're just going to be splitting up normal. No too much of an issue. Actually, there's a little bit of a terrain dip. You might not actually see it too hard, but Phantom is right there. And they're just having fun now, just drifting around. You know what? I think they are celebrating a little bit early. You never know. I have already seen, and even during our casting of in Ukraine, we actually saw a 1v4 clutch coming on through. Does it get rolled over? He's really trying to get that rollover kill, isn't he? But now the spray coming out from Phantom was a DP, gets the first initial knockdown, but unfortunately it's going to be way too much for him to handle, and the real deal will be finally securing their very first chicken dinner here in Spring Split PMCO for the European region. I said it, they were a team that had to show up. Yesterday was just a bad day, but damn, that is also a pretty dominant amount of kills for them on their very first chicken dinner.
Yeah, 8 kills, 20 points for a chicken dinner, 28 points. They were on 22 in total. I said it. They've got more points in one game than they had in the 4 games yesterday. Talk about bouncing back. Fantastic result for them. Never mind the fact that Warlords getting second place with 4 kills. They were 13th place. They weren't exactly looking bad, but that second place for this first game of the day, definitely good stuff for them. And Magic, look, consistent as it comes. 11 kills, 3rd place. Damn, that looks good.
I'm really happy of my boys. They got himself a nice chicken dinner yesterday, and they keep on showing up at the party with those consistent points. And Magic is actually a team that has a potential of, even though there's only like 2 groups playing today, is not going to be on equal standings with the other 2 groups of Group B and Group D. But their team has a potential of being in 1st position at the very end of the day, right? They are actually so high up. Before this game, they were in 4th position with 67 points. And just about like 20 points behind 1st position holds so far by next. So Magic, if they keep on showing up like this, they might actually just make it in top pole position. One team that I'm a little bit sad about, again, is of course Team Legend. They got 0 kills. They got somewhat decent positioning, but because they have the 3 members, I really want to see Legend just join back the lobby. I don't know what's happening there, but 3 members is definitely pulling them down because they got breached so many times that game they just couldn't fight back in any way, shape, or form.
Plus, Red Reserve as well, finishing 11th place. Yeah, they got 5 kills, but that kind of center of their circle position really didn't work for them because they just got pinched by too many angles towards the end of that game. We didn't see it, but I definitely had an idea. And for them, with Magic getting 3rd place and then getting 11th place with 5 kills in the overall standings, that's definitely going to create a bit of a difference and hurt Red Reserve overall. But you know, it's not going to be too bad when it comes to the top 24, but we know and they know they want to do better.
I also believe that now we have the current standings actually updated. So just, I know, I'm just a little bit intrigued to see where they're currently located. And you know what, Imperium? I said it. Magic had an opportunity of climbing up even higher, and now they got actually 88 points. So they're in 1st position in the entire tournament with that game. And you know what, Magic, they did definitely show up. Really proud of them on their very first performance, but they still got a few teams right behind them. They got to be a little bit careful. Red Reserve still in 5th position. Not great positioning, but still they got a few kills to make up for that, and also their cushion that they set up yesterday definitely held them on their full.
Yeah, but look at the real deal. 11th place with 50 points. They jumped from
they went 17th.
22nd to...
Oh, no, wait. Where are the real deal? No, they went 21st.
The real deal. They were in 22nd. And now they jumped up to 11th. They've basically doubled their overall position, so to speak. Or you can say they've cut it in half. 11th place overall. That's a great start from them. Plus, they've notched the chicken dinner up there. And that's always going to look pretty good in the overall standings.
Yeah, really happy for them. They can finally keep on moving up. They said they were feeling really confident in PMCO, and it finally showed up. Like, Bujo is a player that allowed his team, Kurd Squad, to go over to a LAN event during prelim finals in Spring Split 2019. Yeah. So, of course, that competitive experience did show up today. They got a little bit, they did maybe celebrate a little bit early at the end, so you never want to try and do that because you never know. 1v4 is definitely possible, but they got the chicken dinner, and at the end of the day, that is definitely what counts. Imperium, after this very interesting first game, we'll be now slowly moving to our second game, with the good old fancy Vikendi, our first Vikendi game for this PMC European split. And I just can't wait to jump into it. And before we go for a very short break, Imperium, do you maybe have a favorite for this Vikendi game?
Man, you know what? I'm going to say... No, you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there. Why the hell not Yakuza?
Okay. I'm going to say Red Reserve. You know what? I'm going to go Red Reserve. I think they're a team that has a lot of experience on it. They got a bunch of chicken dinners, especially against Elevate, so that is always going to be a big achievement for yourself. So I'm going to be keeping them on the lookout, Red Reserve. With that said, guys, thank you so much for watching this very first game. Still got 3 to come, so don't move. We'll be back shortly for some Vikendi chilly action. And welcome back. Thank you so much for waiting. We're ready to jump into our very second game of the day and our very first Vikendi game. And of course, going to be brought to you by myself, Maxman, and Imperium. And we're going to be taking you through the chilly and hostile environment of Vikendi. Imperium, it's just about to get even frostier.
It is, and I'm really excited about this one. I am. It's also going to be, yeah, look, we talk about it, where teams are going to drop if we're going to have any, hotspots of 2 or 3 teams. We know that can happen in Vikendi. But look, before that, definitely love to go through kind of the overall standings and touch upon a couple of teams on the bottom end, because I kind of want to focus a bit more on the bottom end. Sorry. Like PedjaDBoy, Accelerate, and the red team, they're 31st and 30th and 29th respectively. The 2 teams ahead of them, Team Attila and B2B Limitless, they've actually had 1 game less than those 3 teams. So really, like, they're on a very, very bad slope if they continue on with these negative results. PedjaDBoy has yet to get a kill. Oh. You gotta think, how is that gonna play on their heads? How's that gonna play in their minds, knowing that they've got no kill points? I hate to highlight it too heavily, but at the end of the day, it speaks for itself. And then you have Accelerating the red team ahead of them, especially Accelerate. We know what they can do. I know they're gonna be disappointed in themselves. Look, I just hope that they can bounce back from it.
Yeah, let's hope they can make it through. I mean, it's the first map on Vikendi, so maybe that's their favorite map. Maybe they were just not quite ready to show up on the other maps of Sanhok, Miramar, or Erangel. But Imperium, we talked about some teams that had a really decent chance of, showing up in this game. I said Red Reserve. You said Yakuza.
Yeah.
And can you maybe elaborate on why Yakuza you think would be a really good contestant for this Vikendi game?
The biggest thing why that came into my head was, I know it's a different map, but in Miramar, when they rotated really nicely in scrims, and I've seen them rotate quite nicely in scrims, and I do believe that Vikendi is a kind of map where if you get your rotations right, you can really hurt a lot of teams around you. So that's the main reason why I'm going for Yakuza. I'm also going for them because they're a team outside of the teams I mentioned. They need a strong result. They're in 26th. They're outside of the top 24. They've only got 20 points total. So, I want to kind of go for an underdog.
I do think they are going to be really good in this game because they're not a team that's very well known for their compound breaches. We saw that actually on their very first day when they failed the compound breach towards apartment. But
yeah,
no breaching on Vikendi, if you can avoid doing it, definitely try and avoid doing it. It's pretty hard to breach on that map, but defending compounds is definitely really important, and I think that's something that they're actually really good at, and they've been consistent at during the scrims and also during the start of these PMCO games. So Vikendi is all about compounds because between compounds you get almost nothing. So holding compounds is definitely really important, and I think that will definitely work out for Yakuza pretty well. And I think they have a pretty good opportunity to take this game in, and I think that was a really good point you brought them up. But as I said, I said Red Reserve. I talked to Sonic right before, and they said that they're going to play a lot more in their rotations. Vikendi is really important for you to be able to hit center circle, and exactly, I'm going to take you the exact sentence he sent me. And he said, we like Vikendi because we rotate fast, and we will get the middle and zone shift. It will not take middle away from us the first zone. So they really are aiming for the middle of the circle. They are not going to give it to anyone. And no, that's how you want to try and play on Vikendi as much as possible, because rotating later on down the line, because you got almost nothing between compounds, is made really harsh.
Plus, I did see Jip did put out a tweet about an hour ago saying, please PUBGMOBILE may the zone be with us. So they're doing everything they can to put the zones and the circles in their favor between working on what they need to work on. And of course, praying to the PUBGMOBILE gods, which, it never hurts. It never hurts. But another team that I also want to see be a little bit more dangerous is, I touched upon it before the first game, is Team Legend. Still only 3 kills. When you look at Elevate behind them, they've got 15 kills. Even the teams up ahead of them, MVP, We Are Vietnamese, all have kind of more kills. Definitely, they're not the worst on placement points. Definitely, that's what's keeping them up in the top 24. They got to be able to frag out. They got to be able to add to that placement, and of course be a little bit more aggressive to really push them up into the top 16.
Definitely, as we just peek on over to this, I don't know who that was, but he's out of here, he's gone, he's Assassin's Creed now. But one team I'm really hoping to see have a good performance for once is going to be CIA Squad. They got a decent-ish game yesterday on Miramar, but now this is starting to get to the point where the dust is settling, right, Imperium? If you get too far behind at this stage with 8 games up your sleeve, it's going to get really hard for you to crawl back up. Unless you pull like a Next or Magic and you get just insane amount of points in a few games, that'll be awesome. But they need to get, from now on, not insanely good games, but at least they got to hit their average. Or otherwise, they might not make it through the top 16 if they keep on having these low averages.
Yeah, and I was speaking to a member of CIA earlier on, and I was saying that I was actually, to be honest, pretty impressed with them overall. I was, you know, I didn't really hold out too much for them. They weren't the team that stood out in my eyes, but being 15th overall, yeah, that is helped by teams underperforming behind them, the likes of Accelerate, even PedjaDBoys and Team Legends, but it doesn't stop the fact that they have held their own in these games.
I mean, they did end it off on a pretty good note yesterday. I'm just hoping that they can try and keep it up there, because otherwise, as you go into semi-finals, as you go into the regional finals, it's going to get harder and harder every single time. So consistency is key, not over the entirety of the group stage, but also over the entirety of the tournament, right until LAN if you have to go there. Anyways, here it is, our very first PMCO for the European stage. Vikendi game is upon us. And what a great playing path to start off with. Just straight up central, cut right through. And we'll have every single team get their main drop-in location under control. So, you know what a better way to start this one off with.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Nice playing trajectory going from the north to the south, dead center. You touched upon everybody going where they pretty much need / want to go. Podvosto is going to be occupied by Red Reserve. We all know they drop in the hotspots. They are an aggressive team, and with the playing trajectory being very central, what I will think is that you're going to have a nice spread of the teams going across the map. One thing that I've always pointed out about Vikendi is because there's a lot of compounds, you can go, you know, in separate areas. You can kind of dip and dive between different compounds on your rotations and do it up effectively from there. And that's exactly what these teams are doing. Nobody really super duper close to each other. Maybe REXPECT and Yakuza up above on the north side. And I suppose down in Volnova. But other than that, they're all pretty well spread out, Max.
Yeah, that's actually the most spread I've ever seen the teams be in Vikendi, even talking about scrims. So, well, that's actually our first game, so of course it was going to be during scrims. But I'm actually really happy to see that. REXPECT, they have a really good amount of success playing northern edge of map kind of areas. And it's their playstyle. They play very passive early. If you want to play passive, drop passive. As you mentioned, Toby did say that. So if Toby says it, of course it's right.
Yeah, true. Very true. I'm curious as to where this playing trajectory is, if it'll show up on our side so we can have an idea of what these teams do need to do in terms of their rotations. But Accelerate, hey, look, landed in Castle. Let's hope they can become the kings of the castle that is Vikendi and come out on top with a strong performance. It's what they need. They aren't looking too good in the overall standing, so a huge boost in confidence with a good result will help their mentality, will help their momentum coming into final 2 games of the day.
Come on, Mr. Producer Man, show us the map. I invoke you. Nothing. Crap, I thought that would work. I thought I learned dark magic for a second. But yeah, so Accelerate, you know, that playing castle is pretty risky, hoping that the circle shift is in their favor. But if it is, like, so many teams can set up bridge camps around the area, so it can get pretty tricky. I saw so many teams die around the area, so hopefully it won't go too bad. CIA, the team I was talking about, I want to see them have a good performance. You know, they hit somewhat of an average that allows them to get in top 15. But they need to have really some nice performances. They're all just, I want to see them be able to rivalize versus the top teams, because some of these players like Gangster and Jaguar, they are 2 players that I remember that just absolutely insane, and they play just so well and synergistically well together. But they just haven't had an opportunity yet. So hopefully this will be their game, as I see Jaguar with a little bit. I'm going to stop my sentence right there. What the hell?
Oh my god, that's about a good like 40%, 45% is water on the west side. Now, look, Max, it really isn't the worst thing in the world because that playing trajectory was so central and teams are very well spread out. Realistically, it's not too hard for teams to rotate. I would say the hardest team that right now has a tough rotation would be Red Reserve. Other than that, the teams up the north, the teams down south, they won't have it too difficult in terms of their rotation into the west side circle.
I think Team Legend is going to be a team that's going to have a really hard time. They were at the very, very edge of the map. They were on the northeastern side, and they only got 3 members once again. So that means that with 3 members, you're going to have to move on forward. And because playing edge of circle is so rewarding on Vikendi, the of gatekeeping could happen early, phase 1, phase 2, so hopefully they'll be able to respond very quickly to this circle shift, try and aim for a nice compound, but here it is, all magic. They're going to be losing Skirp right away, and I'm sad to see Skirp die out. I get too many Skirps, but yeah, he's gone.
But it is good to see Broccoli being a little bit more aggressive, although going in on his own side could get the better on the bear. You don't engage like that, man. Don't engage on your own. Yeah, okay, he will get revived, but you got to think, what if a member of Magic was in the background? That would have been a kill against Terror. So look, engage, but make sure you're engaging as a 2-man team to get that kill. Either way, it'll go in the favor of Terror Esports, and that's definitely going to hurt Magic later on down the line. To touch upon these circles though, Max, you know, and where these teams are located, it's absolutely no problem for the teams that are on the east side of the map to leave it until phase 2 to rotate in circle, because by that point, a lot of teams on the east side of the circle will have gone a little bit more central, creating a bit more space for those teams on the west to rotate, on the far east to rotate in.
So that not too many teams all set up kind of like, you know, compound edge of circle compounds, otherwise it might get a little bit tricky, but you know, if it's phase 1, phase 2, you can just allow yourself to stay in the blue and just wait for teams to shift away to find a better position. We'll see how this one will be rolling out. But now Magic, they lost Say, they lost Skirp. Master and Murad are going to be getting the hell out of here, trying to find a nice compound they can defend as a 2-man army. Choosing your compound when you do not have a man advantage is very important. But the real deal, the winners of last game. Yeah, just crossing eyes is just a little bit with PedjaDBoy's Wolves. Not too much will come out of it, but they are looking for a compound of their own. But this one is not quite the one they were looking for.
No, Wolf has to be careful. He was in that vehicle on his own, so there's no teammate to kind of pop off a couple of shots in the member of the real deal. But the real deal are on separate vehicles. Hackshot in the side that now going to join up with the rest of his team as they make their way into the circle. Nicely done, Vikendi. What I love about Vikendi also is the fact that it's very easy to go on the rough terrain in those vehicles because it's snow. It's quite smooth. Yeah, you have to be careful of some of the rocks, but you don't have to worry about being on the road all the time. So making, you know, a strategic play into the circle on any kind of rotation is relatively quite easy.
Complete opposite of Miramar. An absolute pleasure to drive on this map. PedjaDBoys slowly trying to get back to get. Oh, okay. That bike is gone. It went in a freaking different dimension. Okay.
So a segment I'd like to bring to these broadcasts is judging, you know, kind of those plays, and I'm going to give that a 3 out. He landed on his feet, but a lot better. So 3 out of 10 for me.
Okay, I think we had a little bit of an issue hearing you there. Your voice cut out completely, Imperium, during your segment. So,
oh, really?
You want to go over it again? I don't know, for us.
Yeah, I'm just going to give him a 3 out of 10 for that. He landed on his feet, but definitely could have been executed a lot better. And
oh, okay.
Yeah, 3 out of 10.
But unfortunately, I'm seeing that the real deal, G-Space and Accelerate are getting involved. G-Space, unfortunately, going to be pulling off the short end of the stick. They're going to be losing a few members, at least not. Well, Rushes do come on through later on down the line. Terra got a nice position. They were the team that I mixed up with Magic, but their team that's got decent positioning points, not too many kill points, unfortunately. So I would like to see them play a little bit more aggressive. But, you know, after Vikendi is not really known for playing too aggressive early on, so they got to stay calm. When they start hitting the mid-game / late-game stage, I really want to see them pop off kills.
Definitely, 100%. Like, getting 2 kills so far in this game alone is a good start for the first, you know, 8-10 minutes, 100%. Knowing that they've done damage. We do see Sonic of Red Reserve scouting out. Now going to join up with the rest of his team as he glides across the snowy fields of Vikendi. And that's good scouting coming out from Red Reserve, getting information, getting an idea of where they will like to rotate and go should they have to move away. And now REXPECT possibly looking for a bit of a breach onto members of PedjaDBoys.
Maybe a little bit too split to breach just now, but the fact that they're aiming, of course, for the edge of the circle where it is like about 40 to 50% of the phase 1 is actually in the water is actually really smart from them. I do enjoy it, but ooh, the red team get very close to top killers, but they're like, okay, this compound is overtaken. We definitely cannot take this one home, but oh, the car explosion comes on through, and Exile will get himself a double frag in the process. Great way to kick this one off. Top killers still, they are holding this compound like their life. I mean, it does depend on it. Their life does depend on this compound, but they'll be able to get themselves 2 points along the way, which is great.
Yeah, of course, pushing teams back as well. If you can get, you know, kills along with pushing teams back, happy days. So good stuff from top killers. Looking pretty good so far in this game. There's still a full squad as well, spread out quite nicely along that compound. They're going to be able to look in the direction of REXPECT and the two-man team of Magic. So yeah, good stuff from them overall. At least in the standings so far, they are kind of, you know, they're just in the top 16 with 35 points in total. So if they can add another strong result, they could easily see themselves in the top 10.
I REXPECT, we said it, they got a really nice passive position. They're a little bit pinched. I mean, Magic are just around the corner in Dobro Mesto. And PedjaDBoy's just there, so hopefully they won't get scattered out. As long as they don't get scattered out, they are pretty damn safe, and they can't get attacked from the back, so you've got to really focus on 180 degrees of land in front of you. Hopefully that'll be fine. But no teams on edge circle, so that was the thing I was talking about. If teams did try and hold edge of circle compound, it might make it a little bit harder for Team Legend, but Team Legend, you see they're there and alive, so they are fine with this phase 1.
Well, look at the amount of space between Red Reserve and Warlords. That huge land space is free in whatever direction this next phase shifts. It will give a lot of space for teams to rotate from the north and south, specifically the teams up north, because there's not too many of them. The majority of the teams are kind of down south/central south. So that's going to be a little bit tough for them, but either way, that space will be occupied depending on this circle shifting, as CIA popping off a couple of shots in the direction of Team Legend, pushing them back. They're inside the city for now. Just looting up.
We're talking about the circle there, where you want to try and position. Because so much of the circle is actually in water, if you aim for center, this circle is actually going to be extremely predictable. You know it's going to go or center, or mainly focus on the east. So if you go dead center, well, you just got to go or force small rotation a little bit more to the east, or just not even move compounds, and play a little bit more like the long game. So I really enjoy what teams are doing, especially if you play in the center. Red Reserve, they will deal pretty close to each another, but no, not really interested in going in a fight, of course, because this is Vikendi. It's mainly going to be a battle of knocks at any point of time. Sanhok is going out to potentially scout out some kind of area higher up.
I really like it. Just about as Circle 2 is going to shift up, he's doing a little bit of scouting, getting an idea of where he might want to put his team. That's what a good IGL does. He either does that himself, or he sends somebody out to scout. And now, as we do see the phase 2 exposing itself, it's still pretty well occupied by the water, Max, but it's centered up quite nicely. And like I was talking about, that space, Sanhok has gone more to the east, realizing there is that plenty of space. He can put his team there, and he'll be a lot more comfortable in that position to push teams back on any kind of breach or engagement close by.
Also, the thing you just mentioned, right, about sending the IGL to go for the scout is actually, if he does, you know, unfortunately die out, he can actually only focus on IGL after, so he doesn't have to focus about the gameplay, he can just say his team and give them directives, which is also a good way to do it, I guess, having your IGL just in the back, having different perspective on his teams. Now, Pedja, the team that we are expecting to have a really good game eventually, because so far it hasn't been going too good for them, to the point where they actually got, you know, 0 kills, so I think that is definitely a fair assessment. So they are at least playing their positioning really well. I do like it. It's definitely a step in the right direction. Hopefully they can try and make it go a little bit longer.
Yeah, we've seen previous games where they've kind of stayed on the edge of the circle, and I feel like they're evolving their gameplay. And maybe they listen back to yesterday's stream and realizing that they kind of needed to improve on that, and that's exactly what they've done. But REXPECT are doing something similar. They're 7th place overall on 55 points after 5 games. They know PedjaDBoys are there, but they're waiting out, holding out, knowing that the circle right now is in their favor.
You and CIA just going to go for a little bit of a battle of knocks, of course, trying to use up their utility, but going to be Zart. Man, top killers, they get so many. Wait, was that Team Squad wipeout on CIA? Wait a second.
I believe it was.
Because if they died all at the same time, that means it was a multiple car rotation, and you definitely don't do that, especially on Vikendi, because it's so easy to die out. Rotate with so many members in one car. So if that was what happened, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna say deserved for you, CIA. You don't do that on Vikendi. Don't do it. It's bad.
Yeah, you'll make Max angry, and you won't like him when he's angry. As Warlords still shifting towards the west of Grok, are staying close to the edge, knowing that a circle in some way really has to shift to the mainland sooner or later, banking on that phase 3 kind of going in their favor. They do have plenty of space around them, just trying to loot up. But I wonder, you know, because they're not sending out a scout, they don't really know where the other teams are, so that lack of information could hurt them on this next phase.
It definitely could. I do think that Team Warlords, they're a pretty aggressive team in terms of like compound breaches, so I understand where they want to go for that playstyle, but sending a scout just to get information and knowing a team is 100% there is always going to be just so much more valuable instead of just rushing as a 4-man team and just expecting the worst.
Yeah.
But Accelerate, Terra, they're going to be clashing just a little bit, a few frags coming out on the kill feed. I like actually, the compound of Red Reserve here is great because you can actually even get on the rooftops and just scout even further, and your bolt and DMR action is going to be absolutely mental.
Actually, really good point you did bring up. The rooftops on Vikendi are so important of an element to kind of get a successful push or a knock or even a kill. However, there is a bit of risk to that. But where is phase 3 going to go? Is it going to go to the mainland? It shifts down towards the southeast. Only about 20% of it is water, but look at that G space. Living by their name, they have plenty of space to rotate a little bit more down to the southwest outside of Mavatra. Red Reserve, they could kind of stay where they are or shift a little bit more down south. Same with the Real Deal. And now Warlords reacting quickly, getting a little bit more towards the edge of that circle, shifting down towards the southeast. Good stuff from them. Otherwise, everybody else realistically can kind of stay where they are.
Yeah, they can stay exactly where they are. I love it. This is the easiest circle shift that could come out of this game.
Yeah.
If we see a team die out now, that means that some mistake of some form did come on through, because at this point you don't have to move. No, there's no reason to do so. I'm going to really quickly talk about the positioning of Red Reserve.
Yeah,
here it is. Nice shot from Reki.
No,
Reki comes on through. Nice shot there. Headshot from the distance. But yeah, Red Reserve, they have a 2-2 split and actually really close compounds. And I'm going to explain the reason why you want to do that. That is why, if you get breached by any kind of team and you don't want to defend it, you can easily rotate with your cars, and actually you defend 2 compounds, you open up opportunities for yourself. And I think that is something they've been always really good at doing. Unfortunately, yesterday, circle shifts were not really helping them out. But going for a 2-2 split in 2 compounds that are not too far together, but also not too close, just opens up so many doors for you in the late game that you are making up for like unwanted circle shift. But here it is. REXPECT, they're going to go for the breach on top killers, Imperium.
Oh, it's not going to work out though. 2 members of REXPECT are going to get taken out by top killers. REXPECT will still keep going with Caster and not B2, but it's still going to be tough. Good stuff by top killers. Getting a nice juicy 2 kills in that little breach. Not working out for REXPECT, unfortunately. Although they are still in, as PedjaDBoys are close by as well. Then you even have Red Reserve in the background.
And let's know how many kills top killers have. They've been like, especially like Exo and Zar, they were just taking car kills every moment. They actually got 7 already. Wow. Phase 3, that is actually pretty mental.
Really good stuff from them. They were on 13 up until this point, so that's going to be 20 kills in total in these kind of 6 games for now. Let's see if they can add to that. They still got the 2 members of REXPECT close by, and that could be a thorn in their side if they don't close it out. But they are playing it pretty safe, knowing that teams are getting a little bit closer. So if they overexpose themselves on the outside of that compound, they could get punished. So overall, I'm liking what top killers are doing for now as they look for the push onto the 2 members of REXPECT.
Go for the blind shots through the smokes. Could it work out? That's a no as of right. Oh, but actually, it's a yes. I changed that into a yes. Imperium, not B2, is going to be knocked down. That means Caster's a 1-man army. Caster's been able to do great performances throughout scrims. And even though he's alone, I'm sure he can have somewhat of an impact in this game. But it's going to be pretty harsh in the open. Pulling off a res is not going to be easy. And not B2 is indeed going to get flushed away by PUBX. But PedjaDBoys, they're coming in hot. And they're going to get a nice shot for Herbs, who's at M24.
Well, that's what I said. It was good that top killers weren't being super aggressive outside that compound because the fear that that was going to happen. It is what did happen, but there's not gonna be a confirmed kill that will alert PedjaDBoys. But look at that circle shift going down south once again, leaving G Space in a situation where they have to rotate in. Accelerate are going to play pretty safe, and then the real deal might look to go down south.
I really like how G-Space can rotate. They've got just so much room on the east, on the southern side, especially the southern side is still a little bit of a position in center circle. So I think that if they rotate early, they might have one of the better positions in its entire late game stage. Now, Magic also on a move. They lost Sade and Scope earlier. He shot though, coming out from the distance. Hopefully they can make it through. They got to try and aim for the coastal line, which can be good. You know, it's a lot safer and you don't get shot at, but when you start arriving in the circle, that's when things might get a little bit tricky if some teams already set up camp there. But Team Warlords on high ground trying to rain it down on the real deal.
Yeah, they're on the high ground up on the north side. They've stayed relatively safe in this game, but as the circles close in, they've had to move away, and now Yakuza going in. They're in the vehicles. Nice reaction from Warlord Sands with the MPK-5.
I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. JW stopped out first. Great shot coming up from Ryan. Not quite able to get the shot on Dale. Unfortunately, no knockdowns. They're running it down on JW. That's a great nade. Maybe even get a flush with that second. But now they are looking strong. They have the high ground position, which is super valuable. Here it is, the second nade of JW. Well, wait, no, JW actually naded himself. I guess he was cooking it up. So a little bit of an unfortunate timing. But now the compound is in control. A little bit of an even Steven scenario between these two squads. But as always, high ground will always give you some kind of advantage. But Ryan, I really like where the split is coming out from.
Looking pretty good by Warlords. The fact that they got that first kill means that they can push forward using the grenades. Another one's going to come out. Phantom flanking in from the side. This could be the end of Yakuza. Walking Warlords do. Another grenade is being thrown out by Phantom. You do see Sands is going in. Could this go against Warlords as he prones down? Nice play by Yakuza to try and keep themselves in it.
That was almost a throw from Warlords. They sent Sands in first. I know Sands is a very aggressive player. He loves going just YOLO in game. But like he breached that one way too early. Just waited like an extra 5 seconds. They could have breached at the same time. Sent one on the left, one on the right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. They could have got that team squad wipe out a lot smoother. Now, talking about smooth, this is definitely not the case where we have Vietnamese. At least the 2-2 split from Kush is not going to be working out. He gets knocked away, but they have a little bit of a dip to work with. So the res will indeed be coming on through. The Magic, oh, from the back, they're going to get backstabbed by Mike. And he gets the shutdown.
Those shots not quite working out for Mike. He's been very careful, so I will give him a little bit of peace for that. But in a different circumstance, I would say those sprays have to be accurate. Magic trying to stay inside the rose bushes. PedjaDBoys and We Are Vietnamese fight up against each other.
Yeah, Lizman unfortunately going to be down out to the blue. I think they're in the cavern. I'm not sure where they're currently located, but they seem very, very low or on the water, so hopefully they'll be able to make it through. Team Legend, their team that I want to see definitely step it up today. It is. Funny's going to move away from that smoke, but he knows he's surrounded. There are so many squads there, and unfortunately Murad will not survive the trip. Down on their last member. We have Vietnamese. They are actually looking, pretty good on their position. They moved up a little bit.
Oh, so just peek a little bit more and look down. You were so close to seeing them. That Predator in the distance could really punish Wolf if he's not too careful. But right now he's focused. Molotov being thrown out. That could be a nice Molotov if it does work out. Don't think it's quite landed in the direction of We Are Vietnamese.
I'm surprised he would actually go for that molly, because I think he just gave his position away even more dominantly over to We Are Vietnamese.
Yeah.
But though he fights back a little bit, puts Kush lower, but he's as a one-man army. That is going to be a very tricky spot to get away from. The only way you can maybe make it through is like jumping in the water, but making it away with Predator behind you from Team Legend is going to get pretty harsh on them. Here it is. PedjaDBoys Wolves will indeed get knocked away by Predator. Got backstabbed.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That could easily have happened, and now the real deal. They're being pushed on by Red Reserve. Again with the G36 and scope, and now Molotov is going to be thrown out. They have to try and go for this engage. Daddy is behind a rock. Reposition could punish Red Reserve if they're not too careful. Nice stuff by Agan with the Molotov. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno. Good stuff by Agan. Gonna confirm a double kill, leaving Daddy the last man standing. Sonic gets knocked down. Doozy coming out, but now Ked is up on the high ground. Daddy hugging a wall, hugging that little mountain dip. Can he punish Red Reserve once again?
Gonna try and do so. Don't give him enough time to res up Sonic. He's gonna try and go for the spray with Uzi, but with no scope, that's gonna be pretty harsh. And there you have it. But Aegon, he's not even summer yet, and he just opened up barbecue season. Let's freaking go. Red Reserve up on an absolute roll. Sonic will make it back up on his feet, but G-Space are still there. Hopefully won't put Red Reserve in too much of a bad spot, but they're looking good. They said they wanted to show up on Vikendi, and they are definitely doing so.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, look, you know what? It's winter time. You got to warm yourself up. And that's exactly what Red Reserve have done. But now as they find Johnny from G-Space, the knockdown will come through. But that was mainly down to the blue zone. That's going to be a second knock for Sonic. He will look to get revived. However, it's slightly hurting Red Reserve a bit because they're not in the circle yet. But now as Terror Esports, top killers are breaching the compound, trying to rotate around. Terror in the center.
Broccoli trying to deny the rotation. The nade, though, from Beer will actually get exiled from top killers. They're finally getting threatened in this game, Imperium. They're going to try and breach it up. Zart, unfortunately, with Beer and Icy right behind him. He's got to be very careful about this one. They're finally going to go for the engage with the Uzi. This is definitely a hard weapon to play up against. And here it is. This is synergy. This is what I'm looking for from Terror Esports. They need to get more kills in these games, and that's how you do it. They're defending it really nice. Unfortunately, they need pushing up in the open. That is never going to go your way.
Honestly, what kind of engagement was that by top killers? It was half Arcity sending 2 players in, and now they get punished, and Pupex goes down. That's going to be the end of top killers. 10 teams left, 26 players. Red Reserve, Terror, both looking strong, but you can't deny what the other teams around can do. Accelerate still in it, looking for a strong result.
I know how much Red Reserve were aiming to try and get center circle. I hope this is not going to put them off their footing, but here it is. That's going to be the engagement of Team Warlords going on. We are Vietnamese. And they take that high ground position for themselves. I think it's one of the better positions, but that road might be a big threat for most of these squads. Molly coming out. It's not an Aegon Molly, unfortunately, but JV was a great angle. He's going to go for perfect spray. This is why you split and spread your wings to go for fully nice compound defense. We are Vietnamese looking extremely strong. That's a perfect engage, and we are Vietnamese. They're going to be taking out Team Warlords in 10th position, Imperium.
The third party came through, and PedjaDBoy's punished Warlords. Terror from a distance, looking for anybody that they can, whether it's PedjaDBoys or Warlords, and now Accelerate, looking to get to the dip. Broccoli sees the head of Kappahala, takes a couple of shots, just about manages to survive, and now Molotov is going to be thrown to try and confirm that knockdown.
They sure love those mollies, I gotta tell you, mate. Let's freaking go. PedjaDBoy's Mamula finally showing up. He's been one of the players I've been expecting to have some good performances. Unfortunately, pretty split. They got one a little bit higher north, over to the west, one a little bit more central. Pretty scarce. They can't really assist each other out at this point in time. Hopefully, they'll get back together soon enough. But now, Phase 6 is coming up. Where is Phase 7 going to take us? It could be pretty harsh, as once again, that road in the center is going to mess up so many teams on their next circle.
Oh, it is. And then once again, if it goes in the favor of Terror, which it has, they're going to stay on the edge of that circle, just inside that compound, up in the northeast, going to push Accelerate back. It's going to be very tough for them. They are only a 2-man team, unfortunately, although PedjaDBoys could push in from the side onto Terror. Terror is still a full squad, so it'll work out for them for now.
But Terror and Red Reserve, they're dangerously close to each other, so they are probably going to try and fight for the same position, so I hope it won't go too bad for any of these squads. I mean, it's going to be one of the squads that's going to have a hard time, that's for sure. Team are slowly trying to aim for the center, but the center is not really that playable because of the road. We'll see how it goes. We have Vietnamese getting surrounded. They have Predator. There's still, once again, it's exactly the same scenario every single time for Team Legend. Yep. One member trying to snake it through late game. Snaking's a little bit hard on Vikendi, but we'll see how that can pay off for them on this next phase.
Plus, you still have Psycho from GSMC is still inside, and he's on the very south, inside the circle, doesn't have to move a muscle, so that could work out for them in the end. The one-man army from GSMC looking to claim as many points as he can in the standings, as Accelerate are going to throw out the smokes to try and make their way across the road and in some way breach Terror Esports. It's not going to be easy. They're a 3-man team. Red Reserve are looking on. The third party could come through. Sakura prones down, but Red Reserve are up above.
I mean, don't even need a scout here at this point because you got information the team is located in the compound. But Red Reserve now, they are definitely going to try and pull off the third party of the century. But now the blue is upon them. Accelerate have no other choice but to cross the road. They still have those smokes, still have that utility to assist that rotation. And hopefully they'll make it through unscathed.
Wow, they managed to get across the road. You could say that's a little bit weak from Terror, but they've always had to be careful being inside that compound not to get too exposed. Nice spray by X0 onto Icy, taking him down to about 30 health.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're going to lose Kapahala. One outstanding player. Losing him at this stage might be a little bit tricky for them to make it through, and especially we're just surrounded by two 4-man squads. Terra Esports, Red Reserve, going to be pretty harsh, but Red Reserve going to go downhill. Aegon, unfortunately, he's going to be the first casualty of Red Reserve in this engagement as he gets taken down by We Are Vietnamese Kush and might get flushed out.
He does get flushed out indeed. Kush getting a kill. We do lose PedjaDBoy. The circle shifts in the favor of Red Reserve, though, as both Terror and Accelerate, who are side by side in that compound, are going to be outside the circle. And also, when you look on the opposite, when We Are Vietnamese are on their own, we have 5 teams left, 14 players as we hit the 30-minute mark.
30 more seconds in Pyramid. Doomsday will be upon us. Accelerate. Still trying to buy as much time as they possibly can, but only 30 seconds, and this will all be over. You'll have to force on through, and only a slim amount of teams will be able to make it through. Though what I do love of Red Reserve, they split up across the road. I think it's not really too worth it because the western side is not that valuable, but now We Are Vietnamese, they're finally going to go for their cash, if you can see on your minimap, trying to slowly claw their way closer and closer to this phase 8, where it is We Are Vietnamese losing SOD. That was always going to be really hard upon them.
Ked on his own, doing Ked things, and all the while, Sanhok does take down another member of We Are Vietnamese, leaving just GV left standing. Good stuff by Red Reserve, being aggressive, getting those knocks that they need to create all of that space to try and get this chicken dinner. All the while, Terra Esports are still a full squad. That's the biggest danger for Red Reserve.
Gonna try their very best to defend it. GV, just the last chance of his team because he's still bleeding out, but he makes it over to the other side of the road. But for how long? Well, that was definitely not very long. That's going to be, of course, taken over. I think it was Ked securing himself that one frag. Also, We Are Vietnamese out in, that means 4th position. Down now to top 3 teams. Terra Esports, Red Reserve. Ked is going to be scouted out by Beer with the M4, but can't quite take the shot right now.
But look how much space and vision Red Reserve have. They have the high ground. They have the trees. You have Ked across the road on the east side. This is such good play by Red Reserve. Okay, Terra Esports, they hung on to that compound for a little bit too long. They didn't take down Accelerate when they needed to. That's gone against them, but they're in the top 3. Nice spray from Sonic onto Janada. Gonna be another knockdown, followed by another knockdown. 1 by 1, Terra getting knocked down.
They don't care if they can't see them. They got still 3 members. They can just try to pressure them through the smokes. They're connecting so many bullets. They were able to get 2 members res back up earlier. That was very unfortunate for Red Reserve to not flush it out. But there you go. They get the teams lower and lower. Still, Terra getting the reses once again. I don't know how they make it. I don't know how they buy so much time. But G-Space a few seconds ago died out in 3rd position.
Max, Ked got taken down. That leaves the angle away from Red Reserve. It's 4 against 2. Sonic and Jip, can they close it out? And Molotov's gonna push out Red Reserve. In amongst the smokes they go. They're gonna pressure Red Reserve. Who's gonna come out on top? 1 by 1. Good stuff by Sonic, but he gets knocked down, leaving Jip alone. And from this side, Terra are gonna look to close out. Icy across the road. How has Jip managed to stay alive? She gets another knockdown. Oh my god, it's gonna end. Terra Esports, they took too long, but they got the job done.
Oh my god, I was hoping, I was crossing my fingers for the entire fight. Jib, please do get it, but still, that was a nice attempt from Red Reserve, getting himself 2nd position. But the winners of the day, that's going to be good old fancy Terra Esports. And look at those kills, baby. I said it today. They needed to finally get more kills and not only positioning points. And they showed up to the count. And I'm so proud of these boys. They've been training so much during their scrims. And this is definitely the payoff for all of their weeks and training efforts.
Yeah, Ginger Vitus, their manager, is going to be absolutely delighted. Great to see them at the top of the table. A chicken dinner on the board for them in today's games, and you said it with 14 kills. But Red Reserve, it was a bold move putting Ked in that eastern space, but it still overall worked out. They got 2nd place, 7 kills. It's a really nice, chunky, and safe game for them. G-Space in third. Psycho did what he could and got his team up in those placement points. Then, as you see, we are Vietnamese in fourth, accelerated in fifth, a game that they needed to get a good result. Not the highest amount of kills, but they survived. And it is nearly always survival of the fittest. It's a battle royale survival game at the end of the day. And Accelerate, they lived by that.
One thing also about this game is not very often on Vikendi you actually see late game circles with actually so much terrain. Like, actually ending up on the ledge of a hill, that is something that happens very rarely because it's such a flat map, right? So I think that this team was like, okay, this is actually going pretty weird. And Red Reserve, they reacted to it really well, despite getting only second position. Well, only second position. They get second position, but they were the team, I think, that reacted the best to the circle shift. After, unfortunately, there were just too many teams getting involved later on in the game, which made them lose. They lost Erangel to We Are Vietnamese. They all lost also Ked, that was still split on the other side of the road. Very unfortunate, but still, I think that they're one of the teams that rotated the best in this game, and they did say that's something they wanted to improve on today. So, you know what? Red Reserve, really proud of them as they are moving forward once again, and they're just been so consistent around the board, as we knew going into these PMCO games.
And another couple of teams that really got results that they needed. PedjaDBoy getting 6th.
Yeah.
Team Legend getting 7th. It's not the biggest result, but like, you know, it's the way I look at it is, look, it's a step in the right direction. Okay, these teams are literally halfway through the group stage games for Group A and Group C. So that is gonna like play on their mind, but it's nice to see PedjaDBoy picking up the momentum and getting 5 kills and 6th place.
So many teams that finally had a good performance. PedjaDBoy, they were the team that I was expecting to finally step up, and no, they gave themselves 5 kills, so that is definitely a really good step in the right direction. Let's hope they can keep on being like that throughout the next games. One will be on Miramar, one will be on Erangel. And I want to see, actually, have the points been updated? Because I really want to try and see where some of these teams are currently standing, especially the top leaderboards. But yeah, what a great way to start it off. Our very first Vikendi game, and definitely did not expect the circle shift to happen that way, but definitely did not disappoint in any way.
No, they aren't updated as of yet. But you know what? I reckon we should kind of make the viewers sweat a little bit and just kind of wait until after the break to reveal the overall standings after this game 2 of today.
Yeah, we'll be going for a very short break, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed that Vikendi game. It was very fun, but now we're going to go to the complete opposite side of the spectrum. We're going to be ending up on Miramar for game number 3 of the day. Hope you guys are enjoying the show so far. Myself and Imperium will be back in just a few short minutes, so stay tuned. We'll be back shortly for some Miramar action. And thank you so much for waiting. We are ready to jump into our third game of the day. Of course, it's going to be brought to you on Miramar. My name is Max, and once again was Imperium for our third game of the day. And what a game from Terra Esports on Vikendi Imperium. Those circle shifts were absolutely mental.
Yeah, and you know, like I'd highlighted Terra Esports as doing well in Vikendi. Yeah, I didn't like pick them, but I didn't want to be like super obvious. But yeah, Terra Esports pulling off a successful win. And Red Reserve, hey, you would pick them getting a second place. That's going to really help them in the overall standings. And yeah, just overall, that Vikendi game was, man, I just love Vikendi, to be honest. It's my favorite map.
Best map.
So happy to see it being played. And yeah, it's some of the teams did react really well to those circle shifts.
Yeah. We're right, you're wrong, go home. There you go. That's what I'll just have to say. Quick transition over to the global standings and Imperium. Before this game of Vikendi, Terra Esports were in 6th position with 61 points. Yep. Now, they are in the leading 1st position with 95 points. They got an extra 34 in one game. Hoping that my math was good. I think it is. But 34 points in one game. Is that a record? I'm pretty sure that's a record, right? It has to be.
It could be a record, but what I'm going to highlight for that is not the fact that they took 1st place, but the fact that they jumped Magic and Red Reserve, who are in the same set of groups as them today. That's the biggest thing to take away from that last game, Max. Terra Esports overtaking Magic and Red Reserve. However, that's not to take away from Red Reserve, who jumped up to 3rd, 89 points. It's still very close, right? 95, 91, 89, 82. It's still pretty good. What I am happy to see as you look at the bottom of the standings, PedjaDBoy jumping up to 27th. 5 kill points. They had 0. That's automatically 500% more in one game than they had 5 games previously. And then, of course, other teams looking pretty good. Accelerate jumping up to 26. Not quite in the top 24, but like I said at the end of that last game, Max, it's a step in the right direction.
Step in the right direction indeed. They're also moving up. Accelerate. They had some fights happening there on Vikendi, but still not quite hitting the spot. So Accelerate is now going to be the next PedjaDBoys. PedjaDBoys, they started their ascension. I'm just expecting now Accelerate to do the exact same. I think it took them a lot of time to get themselves in gear. But seeing that Vikendi game, at least I was seeing the good reactions and the good rotations from them. Now is on execution that I think they can try and improve on a little bit. And if they get there, I'm sure we'll see of them again. Because as we said, you got to hit like, what is it, top 24 to make it through. And they're just on the border. They can make it.
I know, but I suppose what is still fearful of them is that when you look who's up ahead and who's kind of down below, Throne and AK-47 have played 2 games less than so have Elevate. When you look behind Team Push, B2B Limitless, Team Attila, they've all played 2 games less than Accelerate. So it's definitely, it's far from safe for them outside of the fact that they're not even in the top 24. Another team, even a couple of teams, Team Legend and CIA in 18th and 17th place respectively. We talked about Team Legend and how, look, you know, they need to just be a little bit more aggressive. They're still only on 4 kill points. Yeah, they're 32 points in total, but really, come on, Team Legend. Pull your head out of your, you know, your asses that area, from an aggressive point of view. It's nothing against them. It's just, I know what they can do. I've seen them do it. I just want to see them do it where it matters, which is in the PMCO.
I think they're still just stuck maybe a little bit in like the format of 2019 where Chicken Dinner was 30 points. And if that would be actually a really rewarding playstyle if you just played passive like that, just aiming for position every time. Unfortunately, 2020, times change, and you got to, of course, fix your gameplay. And it seemed like Team Legend just a little bit behind, but I'm sure they can fix it. Once again, they do spawn in with 3 members every single time, so it is directly a really big downfall from them from the early game stage. Straight up phase 1, they already got a disadvantage, so got to give them just a little bit of slack for that, but still, you got to try and play a little bit more aggressive. We see so many clutches coming out during these games in Imperium, and Team Legend, they showed it so many times during scrims. They can take a 3v4. 100% they can take a 3v4.
A team that I would worry about would be the Real Deal, though, because they finished in 13th place in that last game. They only got 2 points. It's not very consistent. They've got a chicken dinner. They need to match that chicken dinner with not amazing results, but kind of 10 points, 9 points, 12 points here or there. They can't follow up a chicken dinner with a 2-point game. That isn't going to work for them, whether it's the group stage, the semifinals, or the finals.
So many teams that have been like slowly climbing up. A few teams, like you said, like the real deal, they lost a little bit. Only, what was it, 2? You just said? They're definitely a little bit of a downfall compared to their last chicken dinner on Erangel. So hopefully they can make it through on Miramar. Miramar, the map is all about rotations. As you guys know it, positioning is key. Red Reserve, they showed definitely an intention of trying to fix it up, but Magic is actually the only team, well, because they only had one Miramar game, but they are the team in their group that actually took Miramar win. They took a Miramar chicken dinner, and that experience that they got from that game yesterday can maybe translate in the second chicken dinner for them on Miramar. I think early game, they're just, all around the board, they play really normally, is very standard, but late game, they were just being so reactive to circle shifts, snap over finger, center circle almost instantaneously, and I think that's a big reason why they took the chicken dinner today. And if they keep on with that playstyle today, that might allow them to get, just remain the kings of Miramar for their group.
Yeah, and look, Magic, they're still on a really solid average. They've still gotten what they started today on 67 points, and then in 2 games they've gotten 24 points. That's still an average of 12 points per game, and that's good, because when you're matching that with a chicken dinner, that's going to lead you in a situation where you're going to be in the top 5, top 6, maybe even in the top 3.
I mean, Magic have been a team that I think is also because I play with them in like casual games, and like I just gave them a buff, just like you gave a buff to Aegon when you let him win the 1v1. We can take a little bit of props, guys. Please give it to us, okay? We casters, we know we're noobs, but give us something, please. But yeah, I'm really hoping to see a few of these teams step it up. Like CIA, the team that actually, they kind of dropped down a little bit. Where are they right now? They're actually in a 17th position with 37 points. Yeah. Their best game yesterday was actually on Miramar itself. So I'm hoping to see them just push that idea a little bit further, and hopefully get a little bit more, not really kill points, because know that kill are a little bit more scarce, is a little bit hard to get on Miramar, but just extra rotation points, positioning points, and rotating a little bit faster, because they got really threatened by a late game circle shift. They had to cross the road, go uphill. It really messed them up. So I'm really hoping this time they're going to do a little bit like Magic, just react to circle shifts quickly, play center, or at least play on the edge, but at least try and shift it a lot earlier, because the blue zone on Miramar, when you get pressured by the blue, you know that snipers and DMRs are there to just shut you down.
Yeah, exactly. And even for CIA, when you look at where they are in 17th place on 37 points, that is only 15 points difference between 17th and 25th. So that's nothing. That's basically 2/3 of a chicken dinner. That's that's half a chicken dinner and 10 kills. It's really nothing for any of these teams down in the bottom half of the table to jump up into the top kind of 24. And it's going to be very important for teams like CIA, Team Legend, just to consistently raise their average points per game, because even going into these games, the likes of CIA and Team Legend, CIA had an average point per game of 6.5. Team Legend had only 5 points average per game. That needs to be raised up to 7, 8, 10 for them to really secure that top 24 spot.
I'm seeing 2 polar bears jump in. Wait, polar bears aren't supposed to be here. What the hell? That's not very realistic. That's not very realistic at all.
Hey, you saw Molotovs in Vikendi, so let's.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough. Barbecue season in Vikendi. We have polar bears on Miramar. Stuff is getting weird, but it's just here to make PUBG Mobile even more fun for you guys at home. And I'm really happy to have this Miramar game coming around, and especially I think one team is very happy. That's going to be Czech Esports. The reason why? They always drop San Martin. It's like the most central location on the map you could potentially get under control. And it's been working out great for them. Easy rotations early on, and they set up camps in compounds just so efficiently that I think they have a really good shot at this game here.
They do.
A chicken dinner. Yeah.
I would actually say that Erangel is probably Terror's weakest map. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think that Erangel is their weakest map. They've looked stronger on Miramar and Vikendi in the past ahead of Erangel in my eyes. You know, I don't know if that's true. I can just go by what I remember. So Miramar could definitely go in their favor. But as you see the playing trajectory, where is it going to be going? Where's this phase 1 circle going to end up? Of course, time will tell as the teams will look to drop where they need to.
Please, Mr. Producer Man, bestow upon us the minimap, the one and only. It grants us power, map awareness, and also to not die with some rotations. But we're still not seeing it. It's fine. But we can look at this sexy plane. You know what? If you haven't got a battle pass, please get it. It's freaking awesome. But there we go. Finally, this plane path will be coming up, and it will be pretty north. So the teams that have a little bit of a nice position to play down south is going to be having a little bit of a harder time. Team Legend, they normally like to go for Chumacera, even though their last game actually on Miramar, they did not drop in Chumacera. They went for, like, I think it was like a northern position towards Tierra Bronca or Campo Militar, if I'm not mistaken. Take this one with a grain of salt. But yeah, a lot of team coming out, and Team Warlords, they're not going to be going for center. They're going to go straight up for the eastern coastline.
Yeah, not too many teams looking to head up towards the north side of this plane trajectory. For now, only PedjaDBoy, we saw that in the first set of games. They decided to go for north side along with Accelerate as well. I want to know. Well, actually, I do know, but who's going to land in Picado? Max? To name a team.
Red Reserve. They like to go there. I mean, because they aim for center circle, right? Picado is like the definition, just like San Martin, and also because of the car rotations, there's a lot more just open area and is nice to fight with, and especially the loot is absolutely insane if you can get it for yourself. And the car rotations are pretty good. That's a pretty nice circle shift, not too bad. This by seeing that first. Would have seen that plane pass, so it wouldn't be too hard. Indeed, as I did mention, Team Legend did go towards the area of Campo Militar / Tierra Bronca, so they're going to go for very, very safe early game, which is what they are known for. But Magic and Team Warlords getting close to each other very early on. Not looking too good for Sans.
Oh my god, his teammate has actually left in Sandham by getting into a vehicle and looking to rotate away. On a side note, to touch upon that circle, it's really nice for pretty much all these teams. Even the teams that landed up north, they have a nice clean entryway into the circle. The teams on the west can just either shift up north or shift down south. This circle is really clean for this start of the Miramar game.
Also, there was not so much loot here. I think that's why Team Warlords decided to maybe reposition. Coming in was a shotgun, but it will get picked up by Murad with the headshot on the M16. Unfortunately, now Team Warlords, they know that there's no way, Jose, this is going to go their way, so just get the hell out of the compound, find a better position. But it's very unfortunate when it happens. But early game team fights on Miramar are just never a good thing to go for. It might luckily sometimes go your way, but if you can avoid them, just do it. As oh, Psycho gets rolled over. That's twice he dies early game.
Yeah, that is twice he kind of dies early game. Not looking too good for them. What I'm curious about with this circle, it is inside Los Leones, Max. So I wonder how many teams are going to land there, and also how long they're going to stay in Los Leones. I've talked about it. You don't really want to stay in these city areas for too long past phase 2 or phase 3, especially Los Leones. It's a dead area past phase 1. You want to avoid it pretty much at all costs. We've seen teams hang on to the outskirts of it when it's been inside circle. I wouldn't recommend it in this game.
CIA, they already got themselves, I think that was 2 kills on GSMC, and I said it, their best performance has been on Miramar so far. And no, they're off to a good start. 2 kills early game, good for them. GSMC, you know what, we haven't talked a lot about GSMC Imperium. I'm actually surprised to see them struggle this much by seeing how good they were performing in scrims. And yeah, a little bit of a downfall, a little bit disappointed, I would even say.
Well, they're still 13th overall in the standings. To me, that makes sense. That makes sense. Their kill to placement points ratio is pretty solid. 48 total, 27 placement points, 21 kill points. They haven't lit up the map or the broadcast. They haven't stood out to us, but they've remained consistent overall, middle of the pack. That will favor them for the group stages, maybe the semi-finals. But when you're looking for that, you know, that shining diamond for the final stages, yeah, definitely for now, GSMC are falling a little bit short.
I'm always looking for that little bit of a later game stage, but look at that skin on the UMP. We got big, like, a little bit of a confrontation in Imperium about the fact, do you say the UMP or do you say the UMP? Tell in the chat, we'll love to know, and get you involved in our one-on-one fight that we've been having on for decades, years, centuries.
You call it the UMP, don't you?
I call it the UMP. Dude, don't you dare say that I call it the UMP. Oh my god, no, UMP. If you're normal, we call it UMP. If you call it UMP, well,
Okay,
Imperium.
answer me this, Max. Is there dots in between the U, the M, and the P?
How does that change anything?
That's it. No, no. Is there? Are there are there full stops in between the U, the M, and the P?
There is an
Therefore,
Imperium.
it's ump. If it was UMP, it would be U.M.P. There you go. That's, I know you're French, so your English might not be the best, but I like to educate you sometimes because I'm that kind of friend.
I'll educate you after this broadcast, Imperium. 1v1 me. 1v1 me with a pan. But we're going to be going over to the good old compound of Los Leones. Team Warlords is their second home. They love it. Instead of going over to the compound of Yasnai Polyana and Erangel, this is their Yasnai Polyana on Miramar. Skirp, unfortunately, in the dip. And that means that when you're in a dip, nades are really easy to hit. That was a molly coming out. Skirp, going to be running away. Oh, this is not looking good. And there you have it. I don't know. How did he end up in that location?
I don't know, to be perfectly honest, but I would call that sweet revenge for Warlords. Considering Sans got taken down earlier on by Magic, that's going to be a trade in the favor. Skirp is going to go down all the while. Sam Martin is home too. We are Vietnamese and Terror Esports. Janata close by the sod, proning down, both hearing each other's footsteps, trying to get an idea of where they are. Sod jumps out.
A complete 180 on the playstyle of We Are Vietnamese. I never see them drop so centrally and so aggressively. They're normally like a very passive team early on, but this time they're definitely switching it up, as that nade was almost spot on for Janata, but unfortunately Sod will not be able to connect. But yeah, against like a team that is so aggressive, such as Terror Esports early game, We Are Vietnamese are definitely up against one of the big fishes of these tournaments.
Yeah, like if I was Terror, I'd slightly back away because they want to maintain consistency and they want to follow up a chicken dinner with a good result. We Are Vietnamese are in a position where they kind of don't necessarily, have to play it safe. It would be a little bit safer, but they don't have to.
It would be safer to play safe.
More aggressive. Broccoli gets a knockdown, takes damage in return, but will stay prone down and safe.
Yeah, nice few shots. GV though might be safe. He was right next to the door when he got knocked away, so hopefully he'll be fine. Terra, though, as you mentioned, maybe you want to try and just back off a little bit. I like that the fact that they got all these high ground positions, especially Broccoli, is just absolutely insane on those rooftops. But I think that here they might want to try and reconsider how they want to pull this one off. I think that actually spreading up for 2-2 split would be a lot better because I think that they're very central here. And they can't really deny any kind of protection away from We Are Vietnamese. So I think a 2-2 split would be absolutely spot on. You can learn that from Red Reserve. Talking about Red Reserve, 2-2 split early on is great because if you get breached by a team, just take your cars, shift over to the other compound, and it's the safest way to play early on and just to set yourself up for the mid game.
But see what I mean? Like, there's plenty of space for these teams all around the map to get inside the circle. The teams on the west, the real deal, gonna find it pretty easy. Up in the north, Accelerate are still inside the blue zone. PedjaDBoy are a bit closer, but so far so good. One thing I did know is that there's quite a bit of space on the east side of the map, Max, in between kind of Impala and towards Los Leones. So that could be an area that has a few bits of high ground, that has kind of the mountains above Impala that can be pretty well occupied by some of these teams if the circle shifts in that direction.
Yeah, because we do not have Group D. That means Elevate are not here. So that is a location they love to play with. But as they're not here, it is definitely up for the taking. Ked, of course, he's going to be the one just on the mountaintop, trying to see if he can take a few kills and be like, yeah, I went 1v4 versus this team. Yeah, I took them down. Yeah, easy. Absolutely easy. He's just going to also give some information away. He's a scout. Scouts are a lot more passive when you check out the map of Miramar. You're mainly going to try and set them up on mountaintops, get information on where teams are located, see which compounds are open to set up, like, just have an idea of how you want to play your mid to late game stage, which I think is like the better way to play it.
Oh, the phase 2 shifts down the southeast. That's what I was talking about. Impala down towards the south. Look at all that area outside of Los Leones. And especially for the teams that are in Los Leones, Magic and Warlords, they will want to get the hell out of there. G-Space have a nice entryway into that open area down the south of Impala. Otherwise, there are a lot of teams that are already inside the circle on the northwest area. They don't really have to move unless they want to.
Terra not going to go for anything, not pulling the trigger on We Are Vietnamese. They got knocked down on GV, but it didn't really result in anything happening for them. So they're going to be shifting, different car split, looking good. Of course, it's going to be really hard to drive on this area of Miramar. We're praising the driving skills on Vikendi, but Miramar is just, hate it.
It's so tough. It is so tough. Especially because, in fairness, the vehicle mechanics for some of these in Vikendi is really tough. So it's all about kind of, you don't really want to actually drive too fast. You want to just take it nice and slowly, like a Sunday drive across the train, and you'll get where you want to be eventually without being put under too much pressure. As Terror hold a high ground to the northwest area of this circle. PedjaDBoy's rotating past.
PedjaDBoy's extremely split, and I got the impression throughout every game they've just been learning. Ares is going to get sprayed down. Oh my god. They just not spraying down. That's just getting mowed down, and Ares is going to be knocked away. PedjaDBoy's really, this is a res you don't want to go for, and indeed Herbs is just going to leave. He's like, I'm sorry, mate, we can't help you, but this is why you go for multiple car splits. If that was a 4-man car split, that would have been game over for PedjaDBoys right away, and they would have died out in 15th position. This is why you want to split cars.
Yeah, exactly. Totally agree with you, Max. And that was a really great response from all members of Terror, because, you know, you're really securing it. All of them, you said that wasn't a spray down. That was just more than that. That was just annihilation onto that minivan. Good stuff for Terror. Gonna claim their first kill of the day, as the 3 remaining members of PedjaDBoys will disengage away. They're getting close to the side of Red Reserve. I'm gonna give that a 6 out of 10, Max. Very clean, not too high, but that landing was nice.
I was about to say, not enough hype. Man, we're becoming professionals about judging cars. Oh, wait, why put an extra member in the car there? Maybe didn't have enough fuel or something, or maybe a wheel popped off, but especially in a field area with some high ground around you, this is pretty dodgy. Hopefully, PedjaDBoys will not be suffering anything during that rotation, but they'll be good for it. Still a few shots in that direction, but so far, they should be okay, but hopefully they won't breach into another team.
Another area that we haven't really mentioned that could be very valuable is around this La Bandita section, the little kind of crater. When you hold the edge of it, you have a bit of protection, and then you can push teams around you back. It is out in the open, but it is very valuable should the circle shift towards that location.
Bujo doing a good job just giving info over to his team. He got to the building, did not go inside because there was, of course, a member of Magic that was located there, was Master. But if he breached in there, he could have actually got taken out, and the surprise factor for Master would have actually had a huge influence. But I say Bujo and Master, they played that one exactly how you should in a top-tier PUBG Mobile game. But shift up north, that's going to be La Bandita. You were just talking about it, and you have that little bit of a dip that reminds me a little bit Crater Field, and I think that would be a very valuable position to go for. And I think Red Reserve, they're going to straight up just shotgun that position.
No, I reckon they're going to stay where they are, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, because the circle has shifted far enough outside of Los Leones that I don't think the next phase is going to shift too far up north. I'm not actually going to predict it's going to stay in the area of Red Reserve. If they're happy with where they are located, I would recommend staying there for now, because at this point, all the teams are already up north. They're close to La Bandita. It would be too risky for them to rotate.
We'll have to see. Only time will tell. Imperium. Yakuza still holding a nice high ground position. Top killers. Very split. Zarp might want to try and get back to his team. Definitely splitting up around the areas of fields is not a really good way to do it. But Yakuza going straight down. Are they going to go for the breach? Apparently not. They have another compound in mind for this phase 3.
Yeah, Yakuza right now, they are on the bottom end of the table overall. They are, unfortunately, where are they overall again?
Check for you. Yakuza are in, actually, no, I can't even find them.
They are in 23rd overall. My apologies. 23 points in 23rd place. They're just about in the top 24, but like I said, it's so close between 17th and 25th. They're not looking too safe for now, so they do need a strong result in this third game of the day.
Another car split coming out from Rex, but I think I'm going to stop mentioning it, because in last year, a lot of teams would do the mistake, but now it's just almost barely happened, so no, that's the kind of basic stuff you're expecting. CIA, though, is going to try and make it through. There's only Jaguar and Gangster remaining, though. Donyo from Red Reserve. Oh, from the red team. There it is. It's confusing. The red tag is very confusing. Good that they changed.
Max.
I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I'm a failure as a caster. Jesus.
On a side note, one thing to point out, Max, we still have 15 teams and 52 players. This is what a good Miramar game is about, right? because you have the open train, the circles have been pretty nice, not too crazy. It's what we're seeing, but now as you get closer to space coming in, G-Space are going to get knocked down. What kind of breach was that?
I mean, he went to scout, which I think is okay, but you don't want to scout in, like, the center of the compound. You want to just crash it on the edge, and then you'll be safe. But they just went in the dead center. They had all the angles they were hoping for, and of course that was going to be the easiest pickup ever for PedjaDBoys. I mean, they need these kind of kills. They started off last game getting the points and the kills that they needed, and they're going to just keep on trying ramping this one up as X0 going to try and make it downhill. A little more spray coming out from Mamula, but unfortunately it's just way too far away. But we are Vietnamese, slowly going to get engaged by Yakuza as they lose SOD in that breach.
Yeah, both of these teams are outside the circle on that north side. The phase did shift down south, like I said. Not looking too bad for the likes of Red Reserve, but the spray from Ryan not connecting enough onto Kush from We Are Vietnamese.
Accelerate, here it is. Reki on his own, and he's going to get taken out as the flash also does connect. Going to be 2 extra points for the real deal. They are already looking strong on this day. They already got first chicken din on Erangel. They are looking just even stronger as Accelerate. Unfortunately, they were trying to rotate, having a hard time finding a position to enter from, but the real deal just put big fat nope in their face as they will have to try and make it up with just lesser member in this game.
Yeah, just 2 members left for Accelerate, and looking Vikendi, you can get away with that a lot more heavily because of the amount of compounds and you have the snow to train. You can really allow a 2-man team to put in a good result, but in Miramar, it's going to be so much harder for the 2 remaining members of Accelerate to get a strong result. And like I said, we still have 50 teams and 44 players. Make that 43.
Oh, indeed. A few kills popping up on the kill feed. Terra Esports got a nice high ground position. They see CIA. Claim it for themselves. Yeah, Gangster will on board going out, but it will be to Red Reserve. So it seems like they're definitely fighting over these kind of frags. But no teams as yet in taking the time to rotate, but La Bandita will be this end game position, and the high ground that gives you the lip of the hill is so valuable in terms of just map awareness and also just pressuring, because DMRs and snipers, they're just freaking awesome on Miramar.
As far as I know, we have just lost CIA going out in a 15th place. The first team to go down. Red Reserve did close it out, although Agan has been knocked down. Red Reserve going for a 2-2 split once again, but the real deal looking for them. Sonic in the background, he's across the road. He can't really do anything about this as he looks to get in the vehicle.
2 reds close together. Which one will be the most dominant red? We'll have to wait and see, as they are slowly going in the direction, playing very edge. They're trying to avoid engagement. Now with that car rotation, that means you gave your position away. Jip going up with the molly. Unfortunately, the range is a little bit too big. I don't think that will have somewhat of an impact. But nades against here, the red team would be absolutely awesome. A little bit of a dip, you can make it roll. If they know that they're located here, which I'm pretty sure they do, Red Reserve could actually get an entire team squad wipeout just like that.
Yeah, but it could be the same could be said in the opposite direction,
way, yeah,
right?
true.
A few grenades by the red team could knock out Sonic and Jip. They have a bit more space to play with, but it could be similar stuff. If Sonic throws out a grenade, gonna be another one. Is this gonna be cooked? Will this be one that Gordon Ramsay will be proud of?
The cooking is good, but unfortunately not in the right place. This one, yeah, maybe a little bit actually, so it's completely fine. But oh, Ked in a car rotation, he's gonna see hell. He's gone.
Yep. It's gonna be Red Reserve down to 2 players. Agam was not saved, leaving Jip and Sonic left standing. Like I said, Jip always manages to survive for so long in these games. Best Snake EU, I tells you, as Team Legend and Magic are clashing together pretty close by.
Closing up. Where's the 5th circle going to take us? Imperium with enemies. Mike. Oh, I saw the blue zone actually claiming a few kills around the board. Not looking too good, but here it is. Where's it going to take us, Imperium? And it will be going down south. That means that somewhat the field is playable, but not really, because you still have a really nice mountainside, mainly on the west. I think most teams are going to try and play for the west. All the teams are there, like Red Reserve. The red team are also going to try and aim for that position right now, because you can just deny 50% of this next shift. So the teams that can get there first are going to be great, but so many teams are going to try and fight over it. They might get pretty sticky and go pretty aggressive for the time being.
And that's where it's kind of like working out and helping Yakuza a little bit in around the edge of La Bandita. Yeah, okay, you know, okay. That vehicle's about to blow up. Yeah, that's the end of Boomy. Just going too slow. Good stuff by top killers. And Yakuza are now going to get Ryan knocked down as well. Oh my lord, Yakuza getting punished.
Yeah, Team Legend, though, they are a team that have rotated actually really well. I think this is like the first game where they actually got a good position later on in the game, and they still have a few members. Hopefully this could go pretty good for them. REXPECT, they're going to play very edge. Of course, they're going to play passive as long as they can. They still got Compound Yakuza, going to lose JW. And if I'm not mistaken, Imperium, that will be Yakuza out in 11th position. There's now only top 10 teams remaining. Top Killers, they are still going to try and make it out of La Bandita. Got to go uphill, but that means right after, they've got to go downhill. And so many teams are currently already set up in their primary location that things might get a little bit tricky for Nini and the rest of her team to make it through.
Yeah, it's just so hard for these teams that are up in the north. They have to get through so much as Red Reserve still trying to survive. The red team, one knock. That's going to be possibly another knock. Is this going to be the end of Red Reserve? Yes, it is, as the red team come out on top.
The red team, of course, that is an exact, straight up primary example as to why the high ground is so good. You can just use it, abuse it, and just know where they're going to push you from and pre-fire your shots. So there you have it. Oh, Nini coming in hot with that nade on Wasson from REXPECT. Going to make it a little bit easier. Going into now a 2v3. Can they get the first initial knockdown? Yes, 1-2. Exo, what do you want from me? They just need to know one more on Caster. Can he make this worthwhile? Oh, well, that was a quick answer. That's a big no. And Top Killers up to 7 kills once again. They look 2 last games. They've just been mowing down the entire lobby, Imperium.
XOR, Top Killers pulling out the punches, what they need in the overall standings, what they need in this Miramar game. They hold on to the northeast side, just about on the edge of the circle, and then the spray from Janata, getting one knockdown. I believe nearly getting a second knockdown with the rest of his team, providing that cover. Good stuff from them.
Absolutely loving it, but Magic and Team Legend now, they're in a tricky spot. They're probably going to have to both break out pretty soon. High ground though over to Team Legend. Magic having a little bit of a few rocks and dips to play with. Predator going to go for the engage. Sade knows exactly where he's located, but that bush is not helping out. Oh my god, how is that even allowed to happen? Sade will be the first casualty in this fight for Magic. And of course, Team Legend going to try and smoke it up. Lizman going to be the last member. Can he get Predator and Joker back up on their feet? He definitely has to, because he's got a hard position to hold on to on his own.
This is absolutely amazing. I can't believe Magic let that happen. They're still in it, though. None of these two teams are out, as the circle has shifted up northwards, going in the favor of Top Killers. They deserve this result. They need this result. But Terror are going to try and stop them at every chance as that Feagle is smoking up. They exit, they disengage. But the response from Nimi, knocking down Janata, good stuff.
Oh, Joker, that was res back up. And now he's going to go for Predator himself. Magic really having a hard time and actually might get put an angle where the real deal could shut them down. But Terror Esports trying to make it down here. Of course, that is not going to end up well. Hopefully they can make it out and back into the circle. But Magic now, they're trying to go for a little bit of a central position. They have a crate that might actually just save their life, Imperium. Joker going to get normally flushed away. There it is. Will indeed be confirmed by Top Killers. They didn't have enough kills. They want all of the kills at this game.
Plus, kind of low ground is helping Magic because it's stopping them getting third-partied from the teams down south and to the west, as Top Killers are going to rotate closer into the circle, in towards the direction of Magic on the east side. They are on the low ground. It's going to favor them. Icy going to get confirmed. Willie dances around. Unfortunately, not happening for Nini.
I know. You had to. When you see that, you got to let him survive. Give him a chance, mate. That was so funny. With the real deal, still, they're going to have to move up. They have the highest ground position yet, but they still have member of Terror Esports right behind them. Could go for a nice engage, but he's got to go down here. I don't think he's going to make it out alive. Another crate. So many gifts on the heavens, and that might actually help out. All Top Killers or Magic will have to wait out, but Broccoli going to make an absolute run for it. He's ticking down lower and lower, but he does die to the blue zone. At least that's one kill denied from the other squads remaining.
Yeah, we got 3 teams left. The real deal, Magic and Top Killers. Top Killers are full squad. They're on 11 kills already, if I'm not mistaken. Magic still trying to get the revive up. This saves a 3-man team. Hackshaw jumping up and down, trying to get closer to Magic. This is definitely in the palm of the hands of Top Killers as Adzi gets a knockdown.
I was about to say, I love Adzi's positioning. He's trying to really surprise Magic on their spot. Gonna get the first knockdown. They gotta try and respond, but Murad is not able to do so. He's gonna be the second casualty to the hands of Bujo. The real deal, what are you on to? They are shredding me, Team Magic. But Zart, once again, I'd love to know how many kills he's got on his own. He has been just popping off this entire game. But now it is. Top Killers, they spread up a little bit. Zart on the high ground position. And they are set up for victory as they still have center circle. Where's it going to shift? It's going to be even more in their favor. Top Killers, if they don't get the chicken dinner, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my god, Azzy getting a knockdown on the Pupex, putting top killers down to 3 players, so it becomes a little bit more even. This is 3v2v1, 5. Actually, no, sorry, it's the end of Magic. It's 3 against 2 between top killers and the real deal.
Nice little spray, but he's only got 20 seconds, the real deal. I'm hoping you still have some smokes in that pocket. Well, it seems like they do. They're going to chuck them down, make it easy to go downhill. It's just going to go a little bit slower. I do like how they have this one-member split once again. It is Zart. And if he keeps on pushing up, he could get in such a nice position. You see, he might be the winning factor for top killers on this game.
Oh, XR just about managing to survive with the shots coming out from the real deal. Keeping him in and keeping top killers as a 3-man team.
Zart is moving up slowly. He's just praying and just lurking in the shadows, waiting for his opportunity to strike. But it's going to be Azzy coming in. Zart will get Bujo. And it's all going to be in the hands of Azzy right now. Imperium making it down. He knows he has to commit. He has no other opportunity, no other reasons to live without his squads. He's just got to push it down into the dip, into the smoke to buy enough time to res back up. As top killers, they're going to get the res back up on Nini, which will make even harder upon Azzy.
Oh my god, he's pinched between the members of Top Killers. The revive has come out. The real deal have done a great job. Top Killers haven't made it the easiest for them. Zard on top, in amongst the smoke, as he hears the footsteps, but he's gonna get shot from behind.
Smokes.
He survived for now, but that's gonna be the end. Top Killers close it out.
This is exactly why it's so hard to defend yourself as a one-man army from 2 different positions. I gotta say, the main winning factor there was gonna be your boy Zart, just slowly snaking his way up. It took a long time for him to get in that position, but at the end of the day, it was just so rewarding, creating 2 points of pressure. That was the breaking point for the real deal. They could just not fight back. And top killers will be taking our 3rd chicken dinner of the day, their very first chicken dinner. And look at their kills. How many is that? That's actually going to be 13 kills and a chicken dinner. That means they made a total of 33. And not quite the record we had earlier on the prior game, but still, top killers. What a great way to show up. And in what position were they actually before this game? I'm actually intrigued. Where were they?
Top killers, Max, were in. Top killers were, where are they?
They were in 14th. They were in 14th with 44 points. They just almost doubled their point count in 1 game on Miramar.
That is absolutely phenomenal. What a game from them, closing out this Miramar game in fashion. But I do have to say, they didn't do it as cleanly as they could have. I felt like they peaked a little bit too much. I know that they wanted to get an idea of where the final members of the real deal were, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, they had the circle in the palm of their hands. They didn't have to peak. All they had to do was hear the footsteps and wait for the real deal to come to them. The man advantage played out in the end. Like I said, it could have been executed a little bit cleaner.
And we saw there that all the teams that had to go downhill, they were going to struggle just so much, except for actually top killers, because they were in La Bandita. They went above and made it down. They, surprisingly enough, were the only team to make it through downhill shift. Otherwise, all the other squads have just suffered so much because Miramar is just such a hard map in terms of like when you are late game, you don't have a primary position right off the get-go. Rotating away from that position is so hard because you're so easy to get scouted and peeked from. So, once again, top killers, great performance from them. Really happy to see how they play that late game stage. Could have been, you know, a little mistake maybe left and right, but overall the game was just so consistent and I've got to give them props for that. The real deal, they'll be taking 2nd position. They're going to get themselves 11 kills in the process. The real deal, once again, they got chicken dinner on game number 1 on Erangel. Miramar, they've shown up once again, and they were the team that yesterday were pretty, you know, a little bit disappointed, I think, but today they are being one of the top dogs, and that's a complete 180 compared to yesterday.
Yeah, and 2 teams I kind of want to compare right now is Red Reserve and Terra Esports. So when you look at these 2 teams, the biggest difference I'm seeing right now is the consistency. So on the negative side of Red Reserve, I feel like they either blow up in a good way or they blow up in a bad way. So the results so far today have been 9th, 2nd, and 9th. Whereas when you look at Terror, they've had 8th place, 1st place, and now in this game they finished in 4th. That's overall a lot more consistent. And when you're comparing the 2, I would worry about Red Reserve leading into the semi-finals and the finals.
I think Red Reserve has a really good opportunity because let's not forget that before this game, Terra Esports were in first position with 95, Magic were in second position with 91. Magic, they still got third position. This game was like 4 kills owned by Murad, so still consistency still really high up there. They are looking so comfortable to move on forward to the semi-finals, like even to the regional finals, to be completely honest, if they continue on this launch. So yeah, can't wait to see what they can try and do on the final game, because the final game will not be on Miramar, will not be on Vikendi or Sanhok. We'll be going back to good old fancy Erangel. It was won by the Real Deal earlier, but it's always nice to see some good old Erangel Imperium, and it's the map that showcases the most skill out of the teams and how much they train during these scrims. At least that's the impression I have.
Yeah, no, that should be the case. That should be what happens. And we saw yesterday Red Reserve closing out the day with a chicken dinner, one that they badly needed. I would even say that they do need a chicken dinner again coming into the last game of the day with those 2 9th place finishes. So will they be able to reenact what they pulled off yesterday, or will it go over to the likes of Magic, Terra, or we could have a surprise chicken dinner coming out from the likes of Accelerate?
I would like to see actually Accelerate coming up with a chicken dinner. I think their team has been putting so much work in what they do in their craft that, come on, you got to give them a chicken dinner eventually. So Accelerate, come on, we believe in you. You can take yourself a chicken dinner on the next map. There will be, of course, Erangel. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking out this third game of the day on Miramar. Congratulations once again to Top Killers, securing himself their very first win of this PMCO Spring Split for the European region. We'll be going for a very short break. The scores haven't been updated yet, so stick around if you want to see which team is currently leading the entirety of this group stage. And we'll be back for 4th game of the day on Fancy Erangel. See you there. Thank you so much for waiting. We are ready to jump onto our final game. It's upon us. It is time to close up day 3 of the Pro EU. Well, I was going to say Pro EU Scrims. No, this is actual PMCO. We're not preparing. We're straight up into the action. My name is Max. I'm going to join with Imperium. We're right to it. I just, hey, after you know what? After 2 months off Scrims, it's just stuck in my head a little bit. But yeah, PMCO European Games, and it's going to be the final game of the day. A lot of great action to check out, but now we're going to be closing this one up on good old Erangel.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, and what a set of changes in the overall standings, Maxman. You seem to have this love, this kind of push and an obsession with a team getting over 100 points. Finally, we have seen that with Terror in first place with 106 points, but very, very, very close by is Magic in second with 105.
Finally, I'm happy to see it. 2 points making it above. They're only 1 point away from each other, though. That is a really nice rivalry. I'm sure Next is going to have something to say about it pretty soon, but even Red Reserve, third position, 95. Like, this group has been just absolutely shredding it, and I couldn't be any more proud of these teams. Magic, they're a team I've been known for quite some time now, and I know how much time, love, and effort they put in their games and their training sessions, and it's so nice to see all that effort pay off. And I think not only for them, but like for so many other squads. Red Reserve always showing up to scrims. Terra Esports exactly the same, and it feels just really nice to be able to feel them rewarded for all of that during these games.
Yeah, but Max, can we talk about Top Killers and the real deal? Top Killers started today in 17th place with 26 points. They're currently lying in 5th with 77. That's a huge jump. That's 51 points in 3 games. That is a pretty chunky set of points. And then the real deal started in 22nd, Max. 22nd they started today on 22 points, and now they're on 77 points in 6th. That is such huge changes in the overall standings.
Definitely a big shift. Like, the push of this group has been absolutely insane. The real deal, I knew they were potentially going to have a really good performance one day, but I didn't expect it to come out so quickly. And then at the very end, like, Top Killers, they just, I don't know if it's like they have something for it, but they love killing people in car rotations. Vikendi, they've just been destroying cars every single opportunity they had, and it was the exact same also on that Miramar game, just getting so many car rotations denied. And I think because they're just such a good scout team, and it didn't pay off yesterday because it was just also teams trying to set up their game style. It was a little bit weird. It was just a little bit in the air. But now that teams know and are set in stone of how they want to play these games off PMCO, they're just like, okay, we're just going to hold compound, see where the teams are shifting, and we're just going to focus down one car with 4 members, and it's just been paying off like so well for them to just keep on going, and they can even potentially hit first position.
They could. It's definitely within their limits. And then looking in the bottom end of the table, Team Legend in 17th and 41 points. Accelerate jumping up to 19th with 29 points in the last game. They got 8 points. It wasn't the worst result for them. It was probably their best result today, if not equaling their best result in points. So that was definitely like looking on the positive for them. That's pretty good. But at the end of the day, like, the teams that they have around them are all from the groups that have yet to play those extra games that Accelerate have over them. So of course, after tomorrow's set of games, we will see a balance of where these teams stand going into the final 2 days of the group stages.
PedjaDBoys, they started off on a pretty good like start of the broadcast, I believe, and it kind of like it kind of slowed down a little bit. They're on the 24th position, which is exactly where you need to be. So if they can hold their minimum, that's fine. But can you hold it for like an extra, like, how many games are they still going to play? They're going to play an absolutely insane amount. So they need to try and really ramp up their points average, or otherwise they are definitely in a position where it's pretty risky and the stress must be absolutely unbearable.
Credit where credit is due. They started today's games with 0 kills and they've gotten 8 and 24 points in total. So it's looked okay for PedjaDBoy, but yeah, like you said, the stress and the pressure is definitely going to hit them if they don't get a really strong result today on this last game. But where is this playing trajectory, Max? It's down south.
Down south. Your team's going to be happy. I mean, the ones we're mainly going to be thinking of course, going to be, I think, REXPECT. They're going to be pretty happy with that. Potentially Team Legend. They love to drop in that area. we'll be checking that one out. But Magic going to be straight over military base. They go there every once in a while. I'll have to see if they're going to be committing this time around, but it seems like they're just going to be cruising through. They have no interest in military base as of today. Going to allow one sneaky team to go for it. That's going to be Yakuza, which they normally don't do. Seem like they really gave up on Yasnaya. They don't want to fight versus Team Warlords anymore.
All of the teams shifting down south, except for, like you mentioned, Yakuza. I was going to say maybe Magic, but no, Magic are shifting up north. REXPECT, they always go to Primorsk, but Team Legend in the past have gone to Primorsk. Will we see a fight in that area between these two teams?
Where are currently located Team Legend? That's my question for $1,000. Ah, say, give me some Eastern action, please, Circle. I'm asking nothing, not too hard, please. But okay, I guess we'll have to make do with that. It is fine, but fine. Where are they? Can't see them. There's some Eastern action though coming up. A few shots getting taken out pretty early. As Top Killers and PedjaDBoys, they're going to be two opposite ends of the table, and the fight could be pretty dominantly over to Top Killers over here in the Milta compound.
Can't believe only one team dropped the military island. That's Yakuza. Right? Definitely very surprised. That, like, you know, I would have expected one team to have Nova as kind of their second drop-in location, depending on where the circle is. It was primed and set, but either way, nobody's there. PedjaDBoys and Top Killers still engaging upon each other. Top Killers got the chicken dinner previously. They're riding high.
Avoid, he's only with the shotgun, of course. I was about to say, the AI is mightier than the shotgun, but I was proven wrong on that one. Gonna go for another double shot, has to reload. Unfortunately, ammo capacity is definitely a big reason why this weapon is not all that awesome to go fully against an entire squad at this stage. But still, it worked out, got one knocked down, but unfortunately, they're not gonna really transform that into a frag at this point.
Oh my god, what great play by PedjaDBoy. Look at how well they have them surrounded. Nimi does go down, and that's going to be Top Killers down to 3 players.
Damn, I mean, said PedjaDBoys, you got to step it up. They heard us just so many times saying, like, okay, I guess this game we're going to go all out. We'll try and take down Top Killers. Winners of last game, but Exor just going to be coming in. Just quick, swift engage with that AK air. And he's going to get, of course, the initial kill for his squad. Going to try and still transfer into many more kills, but PedjaDBoys, they are just surrounding Top Killers, just giving them no room to breathe. And here it is, Top Killers out.
Standing. Yep, one man that's standing, goes down. PedjaDBoys, 4 kills, just losing 1 player in the process. Very good start, becoming kings of Milta.
I mean, from a chicken dinner to last place, I mean, you couldn't ask for more of a downfall than there, but Top Killers, you know, sometimes it happens. You have a little bit of a bad early game. It's fine, they die in Milta. Back over to CIA, they are still, I'm still waiting for the moment where they'll get, you know, like a big chicken dinner. I know that you don't need it, like you just got to get nice consistent points throughout all of your games, but I want to see CIA get chicken dinner because I truly believe that they are a team that has what it takes to get into the late game stages and absolutely flourish in those moments, but they just hasn't quite yet had the opportunity, as most of the time they get denied in mid. So if they can set up their rotations earlier a little bit smoother and just read the circles a lot better, just like Red Reserve would do, I think that's what they lack to just get that little extra thing to make them shine.
Definitely totally agree. And just to kind of touch upon the circle, it went to the west. It's not going to be too bad for a lot of these teams that have landed. There is plenty of space to really transfer away. I suppose the teams that are on the central east side of the circle will have a little bit of a tougher job, but the teams up the north will be able to maybe even rotate to the north of the river of Rosshawk. The teams down south can hug the coastal line. It's not going to be too pressurizing. It all depends on how quickly they, how quickly they do start to rotate towards the center of the circle.
Magic, they're going to go for a little bit. Wait, I'm not sure what they're really trying to aim for. I think they're mainly going to go for 4-man split, which is what you do basically for Red Reserve. They do a 2-2 in different compounds, but you can also do it with like 1 member in every single compound. That is what Team Dope is known for, and it does work as long as you're extremely reactive to once a team just comes around you. Even if they don't want to engage you, just leave ASAP because you're not taking a risk of losing a member. So in the area of Gatka, I think is good to play that way, but you just got to be very cautious because just one small mistake or just being a little bit too slow, it could cause your demise. As Accelerate, they're going to be playing this one very, very passive on the eastern coast.
The good thing about kind of the Gatka region is that It's very open field around it, so you can see and hear the rotations from vehicles that are pretty close by, which gives you a chance of either maybe getting a knockdown or essentially just pushing teams back. So that is one of the benefits of being in somewhere like GACA at this stage of the game, when phase one is pretty much centralized around GACA. Of course, we could see a huge shift one way or another in the coming phases of Terra are down on the South George. It is where they like to call home. They did get into a vehicle to go there, and they're pretty happy looting it up.
And also, Magic is not there, so let's freaking go. All the loot for themselves, all the nice positions to hold, and you'll have to see the circle is looking pretty good for them. If it keeps on shifting up north, they could really just hold the position for as long as they can, because as you just said, it is their second home. They're going to just be pretty looted up, I believe. If you got the entirety of Southern George Pole under control, like, the loot is absolutely mental. They must have so many just tier 3 helmets or jackets that I think they are looking pretty stacked at this early stage.
Yeah, exactly. Now we have REXPECT. They're kind of rotating a little bit more in the west, trying to play for that safe edge-ish of the circle area in and around kind of Quarry and to the west of it, on the high ground, overlooking teams, possibly rotating nearby. Good position for them. Let's see if it does pay off. Is Red Reserve going for a 2-2 split? I love the 2-2 splits that Red Reserve execute. What I worry about them is that they leave it too late to join up as a full squad. We saw it in Miramar the last game. Too many teams crowded around them by the time they in any way wanted to join together. It's not as dangerous in Erangel, but it's still an element that they will want to look at and consider coming into these games.
I definitely agree on that point. Like, even happened a little bit on Vikendi when Ked was across the road. After, like, it was going to be hard for him to, cross back the road again. Yeah. But he didn't really show any intent of doing so. So I think it would be pretty good for him to do. But we have Vietnamese, PedjaDBoys, getting pretty close. But PedjaDBoys, they already got themselves 4 points at the start of this game. Let's see if they can try and claim a few more. I would love to see one of these teams that are kind of struggling so far get himself a chicken dinner. It's always nice to see a team just been having a hard time and finally getting rewarded, and just that moral booster you get from a chicken dinner might just be enough for them to just flip the switch and then just absolutely shred it. But I'm hoping one of these teams can just experience that win.
But then again, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you look at Top Killers got chicken dinner and then they go out in last place. But generally speaking, yeah, you are 100% right. Depending on where this circle does shift, you don't want to go anywhere near ruins. That's an area that, in my opinion, will want to be avoided by these teams. Potato Hill is going to be looked to rotated upon by PedjaDBoys. Good stuff from them, staying together while still being in separate vehicles. Man, I can feel something in the air about this team in this game. I'm smelling and tasting a nice roast chicken for PedjaDBoys.
And I haven't eaten this afternoon, and you make me actually really hungry, like no kappa. I'm actually starving. So, oh well, we'll see. I got some spaghetti or something. We'll get it sorted out. But the red team, not the best of performances, unfortunately, last time, and also they are pretty low in the standings, so hopefully they don't get pressured too badly. But Mike in the back actually is going to get just focused down by the entire squad. Whoever it means, how are they going to play this one? Smoking it up early. I'm actually okay with that, but Mike is only phase 2. He should be able to survive it pretty nicely, and he's going to fight back, so whoa! Actually getting even a knockdown on Jonya. And I think this is now, unfortunately, the red team, they're not fixing down well enough.
It's really bad by them. That was such a bad point to stop. I know they were a little bit pinched, but man, the angles that we are Vietnamese have is so good. It doesn't matter if Mike is inside it. That's really good stuff.
Mike got 3 right there. Are you kidding me? Okay, but now they're fully going to commit. I mean, this is 4 easy kills. Why not just go for it? They burst on through, flush it out. That's a 1. That's a 2. And again, another one. Still one hiding into the smoke. They don't see him, but there it is. That's going to be their 4th point up in their back pocket. We are Vietnamese off to, once again, a very good start, similar to the size of PedjaDBoys. But why? Why did they stop there? I don't see any intention of why. They had a car split. They did not have 4 members in one car, so they were safe from having an entire team squad wiped out in the nice, car focus on one spray. And they should have just continued on their path, but they set up camp there? I don't know.
And look at this phase 2. This is what I was talking about. Accelerate doing a great rotation from the north. Accelerate in the past have been really good with rotations, and they're proving it right now. Let's see if they land in runes. I hope to God they don't. I would hate to see them go near there, but it has centralized up quite nicely. A lot of teams that made a rotation in phase 1 are going to stay inside the circle. REXPECT might have to move across a little bit because they gone to the far west. And this church location from PedjaDBoy, it's a little bit risky, but if they make it work, it can pay off dividends as it's on the edge of Pachinki, so it can really catch a couple of teams out.
But unfortunately, the 2-2 split of Red Reserve. Now, Aegon, Jip, you know you're getting breached by full squad. You know that you have also your team a little bit further back. Or you send a carry to help you defend it, or you rotate back to them. This is how you're going to play it. Of course, the 2 other members of Red Reserve are going to be closing up upon them. And that's going to, of course, make Yakuza be like, okay, now the cavalry's here. We can't really take this fight head on. We're just going to retaliate. Both teams, I think, reacting exactly the way they should have. But be careful, though. A member that's going to be out in the open, hopefully can make it out alive. But he lost 2 wheels on that buggy, so it was not going to work out.
The biggest thing Jip and Agon did to their benefit was they made Yakuza sound like there was a full squad in that compound. They pushed Yakuza away really nicely. I know Yakuza are playing it safe, and you know, if it was a more passive team, they might have breached more heavily. But realistically, really good work from Jip and Agon.
Back over to REXPECT and Magic. We were talking a little bit earlier how the fact that Magic were very spread in the era of Gatka, but now that REXPECT came around, they just played that one very passive. They lost no one.
Yeah.
And at least they got information that that compound is now overtaken. They could potentially have a battle of Nox. Nice first shot there. 16 on Bumi. And we see a shot. Oh my god! Sonic! That's a back-to-back shot, and that's going to confirm a knockdown. But will they go for the engage? I mean, we are Vietnamese. They can definitely be a really big annoyance for the squad of Yakuza.
Yeah, it's tough for Yakuza. They got 1 knockdown. We are Vietnamese rolling by, but actually kind of avoiding it for now. And Bumi, who gets 3 vibed up, gonna turn around and knock down a couple of members of We Are Vietnamese.
A couple. This is just absolute obliteration. Yakuza, they were able to heal back up. Bumi is back in action. Now Yakuza like, well, why not just go for the kills? Just flush it out. It's just going to roll him over. That feels bad. You hate to see it. But We Are Vietnamese, they were off to such a good start. I'm like a little bit like, if you saw that the team was located there, why not just avoid it as much as you could? But the real deal, getting engaged, and they're trying to breach upon Terror. Kind of even Stevens right now, but that huge nade coming out from Icy gets a double frag for him.
Oh my god, Junada went in a little bit aggressively. Bujo is the last man standing. What can he do? Pre-fires, not enough. Gets 1 knockdown through the window from behind. He gets a 2nd knockdown. He has to reload. Oh my god, Terry Esports, you're getting the revive. What's going on? Bujo could close this out against Terror.
Oh my god, my heart was beating. He was trying to flush it out. He's going to try and heal up. Will he have time? He will not. And Broccoli will come on through, eat your 5 veggies per day, and he learned that lesson nicely and strongly. That'll be a few frags for them, but that was such a nice engage from Bujo, but unfortunately the fact that his team died out there, and also that he was just 1 bullet away from death, did definitely make it turn out pretty badly, but still gotta say, really nice attempt from the real deal. They got chicken dinner on Erangel already, so 2 in a row, maybe too much to ask for, but they will be going out in 13th position.
To be honest, that was just a really weak engagement by Terror. It was uncoordinated. It was, we saw Janata going in on his own, got knocked down, and kind of that spoke for itself. They were just lucky that the grenades popped off in their direction.
Yeah, I was going to say, or it was a very good nade from Icy.
Yeah.
One or the other. Yeah, a little bit of both, I think.
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Red Reserve, they finally decided to get back together. Unfortunately, in a position which is not too nice to fight with, because if a team comes around, nades are going to be flying, and right into the dip, you could get somewhat threatened. But still, early days, in the middle area of Gatka, I don't think so many teams are going to try and rotate towards some points where some teams could potentially have set up camp, especially knowing the compound is nearby. And scoop! And you get that headshot on the Car 98. Like to see it come on through. Season 4 split second. Can he get Sonic? Oh, Sonic, he's actually going to come in with the flick shot almost instantaneously.
Nice stuff by Sonic. Trade by trade. Skirp doing what he could, but staying protected after taking a little bit of damage. Reloads his weapon. All the while, the edge of runes. I don't mind that location for Warlords. It's not in runes, it's on the high ground above it. We're going to be able to catch a couple of teams rotating in. We are going to see phase 4 and wherever it does shift. Hopefully that'll be showing up on the map feed. Boom. Just in time, and it shifts up north. Edge of Everest is in play, and all those teams down south They have to find the space. All the compounds in the circle are already taken. This is going to be tough.
If you can try and rotate up north, that'd be great. REXPECT, if they could, just wrap around Everest and avoid confrontation. I think they might actually go for that. They all get in the car, and that's like the safest way because you're away from confrontation. No teams on the northern side, you're pretty sure, because they'll know compounds. And I think they are indeed doing that rotation, so round of applause to you, REXPECT. Very smart rotation.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll be the only one that will go for it. And whether it's the whole of Everest or the edge of Everest, it's always incredibly difficult to hold on to that location. Plus, there's a risk that if the next phase goes against Everest, they have to go downhill. But now Warlords and PedjaDBoys engaging on each other. Warlords doing their best to hold on. The grenades popping out to take a PedjaDBoys down to a little bit of health.
All the nades missing, unfortunately. Not going to result in any initial knockdowns. That'll be great for a breach. If you get the first knockdown, you've got to commit hard. Sans now, unfortunately, just locked up. You know he wants to play aggressive. You know, I can just feel his urge to just jump out the window and just spray them all down. But unfortunately, you've got to stay low, my friend. You've got to wait them to breach up because flushing out members going through doors or up staircases is just so much easier. And it might just be an easy team squad wipeout for Team Warlords if they just let it happen.
Plus, never mind the fact that, and I don't know if the Warlords know this, they have the man advantage. It's 4 against 3. I would like to see Warlords being a little bit more aggressive.
AIM just naded his entire team. But I mean, bye-bye, G-Space. I don't know what happened there. Okay, well, that's 12th position for you, I guess. Not too sure what happened there. I would love to re-see the replay of that if possible at some point. But anyways, Team Warlords and PedjaDBoys still coming to a halt, but PedjaDBoys, unfortunately, they lost 2. Going to be a 2v4 breach, which when you do not have a man advantage, breaching another team that is full is always going to be so much harder. You can defend it when you do not have the man advantage, but attacking with a disadvantage like that is most of the time not going to go well.
And if Warlords know that they got a kill, they have to push on this because both of these teams are inside the circle as the knockdown comes through onto a member of Warlords.
Actually surprised that teams that are playing for Everest is going to be trying to play for that position because it's almost sure that it's going to shift away because it's such a small area of this phase 4 circle. So it's pretty slim, and going downhill later on I think is a little bit scary. So you know what? Maybe they're just trying to get some good scouting information before rotating. Red team going to be using A gun. Oh, sorry. No. Oh my god. Happened again. Jesus.
Yep.
Too much red.
And
I'm a bull. I just go head in and I just don't know what the hell I'm doing.
See, this is what I was talking about. It's always hard to hold on to Everest and 2 teams that are on the edge. The blue zone is starting to close in. So if it goes away from them, it's going to be very tough. But who's going to come out on top? Great grenades so far from REXPECT, but Yakuza are firing back.
They know that unfortunately they do not have their position set up first. It was, of course, over to Yakuza. Oh no. Red reserve. Jib down there has the tree, can make it through. Oh, that was a little bit tricky. But Team Warlords, you said it, they had to pull and reverse the steam. They go for it, and here it is. They lose nobody in that engagement. Team Warlords, they're just going to be firming that compound for themselves. I mean, they had to eventually, right? They knew they had that first kill. They knew they had the advantage. Just go for it as a full squad, and they communicated really well. They pulled it up at exactly the same time. That is how you go for a reverse engagement.
And look at this, Max. Phase 5 has shifted away from Everest. That's what I talked about. It was also even more important that Warlords got the squad out because now they have a little bit more space. There's not a thorn in their side for now, and they can make a play to get into the circle as a full squad. All the while, this fight still rages on between these 2 squads. They've only got 20 seconds until the blue zone starts closing in, and they have to go downhill. Both of these teams are going to be punished. It's just a matter of who's going to be punished the worst.
Yeah, because the shift down south is definitely going to help them out. And Red Reserve, it might just become fishing time. They can just set up a big fancy net and just wait for all the teams to just tumble down the mountain and get them one by one. Magic seem like they're just not quite ready. They know this compound is occupied, so they're not going to be foolish and just commit to it, trying to chuck a little bit of utility potentially in their direction. But Ryan is going to be the first one to just roll on down the mountain and try and create a nice entry point, potentially find a position where they can call home. And I think this is actually pretty smart. He sees the rock, going to call it up there, and maybe wait for the entirety of his team to just run on down to.
Yes, by the edge of the road as well. That CIA Jaguar gets knocked down. Accelerate doing what they can, but Gangster comes in. Sakuro's left standing. This is very tough for Accelerate, but they are not bound down to the pressure just yet.
Gangster, unfortunately, Sakura is behind the car also, so it's going to be pretty harsh. Sakura being really smart. Going to blow up the wheel, so he goes a little bit lower. Can't get shot from underneath that car. Of course, that is how you try and play in high tier 1 gameplay style. X-Ray, though, they got this compound is out position. They're going to have to go a little bit downhill, so they might get in a tricky spot. But CIA, they are still looking intrigued and definitely want to try and take it up. They are very split, but this might just be exactly what they need to take the compound over. But Accelerate, they want to get the hell out of that area. Too much action for them.
Oh, Sakuro doing what he can. Takes a bit of damage from a grenade. There's 3 teams in around this area, just on the edge / outside the circle. The blue zone closing in, so it's going to push them even closer together as REXPECT has made their way down the hill. They're on the north side doing what they can to stay alive, to survive, to get a positive result to end the day.
I love right now the teams are located in the south because there's such a slim area in the northern side. We're pretty sure that unfortunately phase 6 or 7 will not be shifting to. So send up in the south is definitely the way to go. Stonks if you are in the south so far. The teams are going to try and potentially make the crossroad section, and they will struggle to do so. But Master going to get knocked away by Broccoli, and this is finally Terra just slowly getting more and more aggressive. They play very passive this so far, but now they are slowly showing up, and they want to try and get those frags.
That's going to be the end, I believe, of Yakuza going down the hill, or the majority of the Yakuza.
You died, yeah.
Leaving, I believe, just Ryan left standing just on the edge of the circle. And then you have Team Legend up above. Lisman taking down Gangster. CIA are out.
And this is looking a lot more aggressive for them. They got 4 kills. They still got 3 members. This is a complete 180 compared to what we see them do on yesterday's game. So I'm really happy to see them being a lot more confidence in their playstyle. Accelerate, unfortunately, they got the hardest circle shifts, with every team almost having direct information on their location. Apahala, can he go for the shot? Joker, can he go for the spray? It's a pretty long distance with the DP. You know the recoil is a little bit hard to control. Just get the initial few bullets, but unfortunately can't follow it through with the extra ones.
Oh, so close yet so far. My friend is Warlords down on the southeast for now, outside the circle after trying to make a play. Kapahala still firing off shots. Gonna take a little bit of damage in this himself. He gets knocked down by Ryan.
Ryan, absolute beast in this game. He's alone, so he's got to try and make up for his 3 dead allies.
Oh, no.
Team Warlords, they're going to go for the engage. They were able to defend a compound earlier. How good can they be? Well, they're going to be on the opposite side of the spectrum. Icy can't nade up this time around, and we'll see how this is going to be working out. They defended a nice compound breach earlier. Can they make it happen twice in a row? I'm not too sure, but these cars are smoking up, and it might actually be a little bit of a downfall if one nade just comes around the corner.
Totally agree. The members of Czech Esports from the little small house above it is working out. Ryan goes down. Team Legend on the north side of the circle on their own. Plenty of space, allowing the teams down south to take each other out, because Magic is still in this. I believe Murad is left standing. Reki trying to dance around the bullets. Scar doing damage.
They are still holding on strong. Molly's trying to use as much utility as they can. They really don't want to give this position away, because if they leave Team Warlord alive, try and shift towards the circle center position, they're going to get backstabbed. So one of these 2 teams is going to have to take care of each other. But I think the Team Warlord is actually getting a little bit more respectful. They're not going full hard R on this one, just trying to get that utility out, maybe try and get an initial knockdown. But these 2 teams are kind of cancelling out each other as to rotate. But Joker coming in hot with Janata putting him down.
Oh, good stuff from Team Legends to push them back. They have to go a little bit across the road. We are going to see this phase 7 come out. Is it going to go into favor of Warlords and Terror, or is it going to shift up north towards the edge of the road? Nice position by Backfire. It's a bit exposed, but it's higher ground, overlooking the members of Terror.
Accelerate, Reki. I don't think you're going to make it out alive. I mean, we saw a similar situation actually on yesterday's Erangel games, where you can just snake it through. I think it was actually Legend, if I'm not mistaken, that did kind of a similar move, just staying prone in this exact location, and they're really trying to avoid actually getting detected. But these circle shifts going up north and so many times in a row, that is so lucky for this squad. They're able to make it through. Team Legend, this is maybe the exact circle shift they needed to finally get their first chicken dinner. The Backfire is going to fire in the back. Broccoli.
Yeah, good stuff. Now, they should go for the push. Go for the push. Take that knockdown to engage. You have 3 members up. Go in for it. You know that you have the space. It's 1 for nothing. Go for the grenade. Janata doing what he can, but he gets knocked down.
Yeah, they get the knockdown. Nice headshot from Dale just above that mountain top. Terra, they're going to get Broccoli back up, which is good. You definitely want to try and have him there. He's going to be a big asset for this potential defense. Now they've got all the utility they want. They're just going to try and rain it down. Here it is. The first initial nade is coming out. If it gets a knockdown, they're fully going to commit. It puts them so low. Broccoli and Icy, how the hell do you survive that? I don't know, but Team Warlords, they're definitely not going to let that one go to waste.
Be confident, be aggressive, go for it. Put the game in the palm of your hands. I like the fact that Backfire is firing up a Team Legends. Oh my god, AC takes down Dal on his own. Terror Esports are still in this game.
Terror Esports are still in. Warlords, unfortunately, Dale died out, but Icy died because of the blue zone tick damage. As Reki has the eye set up. The high ground position with third-person perspective gives him the exact information he needs, but I'm still surprised he's actually decided to play aggressive and not decided to hide out. But he's going to flush it out. He knew a point is going to be going his way. He's going to try and get as many as he can during this game, as he gets minimum top 5, and that's the better performance we've seen so far of Accelerate.
Really good stuff by Accelerate. Reki looking to redeem himself. Broccoli into camouflage play. Getting 1, getting 2. Boom goes the dynamite. Broccoli getting the squad wipe.
Broccoli, stay prone, slow and steady will win you the race, and Broccoli is the exact definition of that. Now Reki gonna have the angle once again on Lizman. He has the Groza, but it's not gonna be enough. He doesn't have the high ground. Reki, man, Accelerate. They get 9 top 5, but now it's going to be top 4. They're slowly climbing up the ladder of the positionings in this 4th and final game of the day. And they're definitely trying to, well, he is definitely going to try and claim that chicken dinner.
We've got 4 teams, 4 players. It's 1v1v1v1 going into phase 8. He shifts into the favor of Magic and Broccoli. Joker has to go down that path, has to get to the edge of the road. He has an idea of Reki is. That's why he's angling in the direction of the tree where Reki is. This is so close. They've only got 30 seconds to make their way into the circle. Reki has done well to get a couple of kills, but Maraud has stayed safe, stayed quiet. How much does Reki know about Maraud being there?
I'm not sure how much information any of these team members have, but right now what I am indeed seeing is Accelerate and Team Legend. They have the better position. They have the high ground, which is straight off the bat a nice advantage to have for yourself. And these smokes are wearing out. Might have the information on Broccoli. And Broccoli, though, over this dip, might actually just get the info on Murad trying to flush him out. I was about to say he was going to peek out. That third-person perspective is going to be definitely helping out Broccoli. And now it's back to a one-on-one team fight. Which one will be taking it home? Broccoli gets scattered by Reki, goes for the spray with a scar, but doesn't quite connect as Joker making an absolute run for it over to the smoke, and he just gets prone again, and now it's calm once more.
Exactly, perfect play, but now Broccoli's going to spot him out. Good stuff with the DP28. Now comes down to the 1v1 between Joker and Broccoli.
How did he not get that? He has to reload. This might be the opportunity for Team Legend. And no, oh my god, he finally comes on through. Imperium, it will be Team Legend finally coming out on top and getting their moment of salvation. Finally, they break through their shell and they get themselves 6 kills plus a chicken dinner with only 3 members. They're the only team Imperium that shows up with only 3 members. But it doesn't matter, we said it, 3 members versus full squads is still an opportunity for you to take some dubs, and they showed up to the party. Team Legend, Erangel, it was going to be their map eventually, and they did it this one around.
Wow, what a great game. It did help that it came down to that 1v1v1. Absolutely incredible stuff, Maxman. But let's talk about Terror Esports. As you said, Broccoli getting 9 kills. If I'm not mistaken, that's probably the highest individual kill score. That's got to be the highest so far in the EU PMCO. They like Terror once again showing their consistency with a 2nd place result and 17 kills.
That is 37 in one game, and I think that is actually also the one game.
No, that's going to be 31 because they get 14 for 2nd place and 17.
Oh yeah, actually, no, if it was a chicken dinner, but still Terror. That could have been so close for an extra dub. Unfortunately, Broccoli had to reload. If he reloaded a little bit earlier, that could have been absolutely spot on. But Joker just pushed when he went for the spray, and I think Joker actually was very smart about this because he knew he sprayed the last shot onto Reki of Accelerate. I knew that during that little lapse of time, or he wouldn't have enough ammo to finish him, or he would be reloading, allowing him to push on forward. He knew that was his only opportunity to go downhill because he didn't have the map advantage. And that's the only reason why Team Legend were able to secure themselves that chicken dinner. So Joker, pop on a morning to you, man. Absolutely deserving that game. But Accelerate, that was their best performance. And I got to say, I'm extremely proud of them. I said eventually it was going to show up for them. And this game was the one they were looking for so long.
I think that was the redemption game for Reki in particular, because like I said, I spoke to him and he was, you know, he sounded like so kind of devastated and like he's letting his team down. And I feel like he needed to do that, not just for the team, but for himself, Max, man. And I'm really happy to see him get 5 kills, put his team up to 3rd place in that game and give them such a high amount of boosts, such a high boost in the overall standings. And then Magic, once again, 4th place. It wasn't a high amount of kills, but god damn it, are they just showing their consistency and determination to stay in these games.
With so many of like the top teams getting such high position, you know, Red Reserve a little bit lower. They're getting 7th with 2 kills, 1 for Sonic, 1 for Jib. That's fine. But
yeah,
the teams that were like really high in the standings, they're just holding that position. They are remaining kings and they are nowhere near to get dethroned. So what I'm going to propose to you, Imperium, is actually let's go over the current standings that actually did get updated. I'm going to update them right now on my screen, but this is going to be very interesting for you people at home to see, because you're going to see just absolute pure and raw domination. Terra Esports, after this game, standing good, standing strong, with 137 points in a mere 2 days.
Wow.
Are you kidding me?
Wow, they like, wow.
Just wow. There we go, we finished.
They started today, Max went in 6th place with 54 points. They are on 137. That is over, I believe, over 80 points, 83 points in 4 games. That is pretty magnificent. Plus, they topped the table with 2 chicken dinners. Magic in 2nd, not to be sniffed at, on 115 points. And Red Reserve in 3rd on 102 points. But at the end of the day, it is a little bit skewed, Max, because next, Hate Gaming, Cream, you know, they've all played 4 games less than these teams above. So, you know, it's not the full story.
Next, they must be like, oh, this is our spot. Terra, what the hell are you doing, mate? Okay, I guess we'll take it back tomorrow. And really can't wait to see all the playing in tomorrow's matchups. I propose we also do check out the little bit of the lower section, see which teams are unfortunately really struggling today for Group A and Group C. Here we go. Team Legend, that one game was just able to just redeem them so heavily, climbing up. Once again, it's not an insane amount of kill points, only got 6, but that chicken dinner, 35 positioning points, they now got 41. They are now looking pretty safe. You know, they're still not out of the woods just yet, but at least they're in a position where they can just be like, okay, we're relaxed.
I don't know if you've updated the second half standings, but Team Legend are in 11th with 67 points.
I did update them. Let me refresh once again. Let's see. Oh, it is updated. Okay, I refreshed at the same time. It didn't happen, so look, my bad for that, guys. I thought it was already updated. But we'll be checking them out. So now they are actually going to be in 11th position. There you go. Okay, that was weird. My apologies for that, guys. Seemed like we had a little bit of an issue, but 67 and still not an insane amount of kill points, but 55 positioning points, and that's what they've been aiming for throughout the tournament. And as long as it works out, I can't really argue with it.
No, can't. And another thing that I can't argue with is Accelerate, finishing up in 17th place, should I say, overall, 45 points. They started today on 30th spot with only 9 points. They've gotten 36 points in 4 games. It's not, I know for a fact it's not what they want, but it's a hell of a lot better than where they were at, and it will breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief for them overall. And then even looking down, you have PedjaDBoy moving up to 21st. The red team moving up to 25th, but let's be honest, like, it is up in the top of the standings. In between PedjaDBoy, the red team, and down below, pretty much all of those teams have 4 games less played. So there's plenty of chances for Accelerate, PedjaDBoy, and the red team to unfortunately move back down the standings.
Yeah, tomorrow is going to be definitely a pretty big day, and we'll have a pretty big impact down the line, because after 8 games, the dust has like pretty much not almost settled, but we're getting there very, very slowly. So tomorrow is definitely going to be very important. And talking about tomorrow, let's go real quick over the schedule for days, as we'll be having Group B versus Group D. And we're going to have a few teams coming back finally into the action. We're going to have Elevate. I can't wait to see if this is going to be their redeeming day for them, because they definitely need to get some good performances as they struggled a lot yesterday, and I'm really hoping it will be their day. Also, next, they're going to be back in action trying to reclaim that first spot. Same for Cream. They're going to try and fight and battle it out for a #1 position. But so many big teams playing tomorrow, and I just can't wait to jump into the action. Imperium, as tomorrow, of course, will be Double Erangel, Vikendi, and Miramar.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, at the end of tomorrow, all 32 teams, well, 31, but all of the teams will have played 8 games. They will have done 2/3 of the group stage matches. And that means that in the final 2 days, it's going to be all or nothing. It's going to be D-Day. It's going to be every single chance for these teams to claim as many points as they can. And it's, I'll tell you what, yeah, I just can't wait.
I think that nobody can wait right now in Imperium. And if you guys can't wait for tomorrow's broadcast, please don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button like that. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. CMT or 7 p.m. GMT, we'll be going live once again for day number 4 of Group B versus Group D. If you don't want to wait, I'll have to. I'm very unfortunate for that. But myself and Imperium will be going out for the day. Thank you so much for checking out today's broadcast. We'll be back tomorrow for more epic action to see which teams will be dominating once again the field of PUBG Mobile, the European scene. See you tomorrow.